Hello.
Oh, we're here.
Yeah,
Jesus.
I said let's do. You said let's do the damn thing, and then I said
I
let's do
know.
it. And
I
then
need
we
like a.
did it.
I need an
Like a
audio
3, 2,
cue.
1.
I need something. I need something.
This is a certified hood classic.
There you go. And
Yeah,
that's a
would be a start.
guarantee. Yes,
Yeah.
that would be a great start. And it's a guarantee. Today, hello to everyone who's joining us live on Twitch, wherever you're listening. Thank you so much for joining us. Also, it's Saturday. You know what that means. Got to get that in.
Y'all know
Today-
what time it is.
Marco.
Today is going to be
Oh, okay.
a certified hood classic of our own, because today we're going to be ranking all of the Marvel Cinematic Universe movies, which will include Doctor Strange. But before you leave, don't leave. I promise, this is a pal's promise. We will have absolutely no spoilers, none whatsoever.
Yeah.
Not from us, not from the chat. Everybody respect each other. We're going to rank the movie, but we're not going to talk about it. If you want to hear our thoughts about the movie, you will have to tune in to our review of it, which will be dropping on Monday for those of you who are listening to me on Twitch. Everybody else, it's out now. So if you want to dip out of here and go listen to that, that would be terrible for algorithms and other things. But do give that a listen and hear where we decide to rank the movie. Let's see, who do we have in chat? We've got Harris. Hello, Harris. Catherine. Hello, Kefis. All the good people, as people file in, do say hello. It's Free Comic Book Day.
If you're a bad person, make sure and let us know.
So we know.
That's right.
If you're a dirty bad boy, please let us know. If you're a dirty, rich, dirty. There we go. I knew I can trigger Sean with a Lady Gaga reference, but
You can always get me with a Gaga reference. That's
pretty instant too.
absolutely right.
So yeah, there we go.
Yeah. So it's Free Comic Book Day today. What's everybody's plan?
I done went.
You went. How was it?
Nice.
Busy.
Yeah.
The place had a line around the block.
Wow.
This place lets people have 5 per person. So I got my one because I wanted the Pokemon one, and that was what they had. But by the time I was just about finished in the store, everything was gone.
Wow.
Well,
I
that's
guess
a good
that's
sign.
thing.
So good? Yeah.
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 Kev is in the chat saying I might buy a whole long box.
A free
full
comics?
one? A full
He says
one?
my shop has 4 get 5 free on back issues.
Oh yeah, that
Ooh.
you could
Yeah.
probably fill up a long box on that. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, definitely. I'm going to go after this to, the evil empire of comic book retailers, Midtown Comics, that I love so
Nice.
dearly.
Comics.
That should be fun. It's interesting, Kill. You said you can only get one Free Comic Book Day book or one of each.
No, it's 5 per person, is what they said.
A max of 5 of any of the free
Gotcha.
comic book day.
Okay,
Yeah,
sorry,
yeah.
I misheard. I misheard.
I got one.
Okay. Cool. Okay, yeah. I'm excited. I mean, Marvel and DC generally will put out something cool, something that leads into the future of this, whatever their summer event is. And we see that they're teasing Dark Web over on the DC. Marvel is teasing Dark Web on the DC, and you have Dark Crisis. Marvel's teasing Judgment Day. So there's a lot of cool stuff going on. Really excited. I've actually, this is a weird fact. It's not that weird, but I have not been to Free Comic Book Day, I don't think, since this show started.
Wow, fake geek
Because we
here.
record on Saturdays.
Saturday.
Yeah, because we
Oh,
record
true.
Saturdays. I think last year it wasn't on Saturday, or there was some weird way that I was able to go. But by the time I was able to go, they had nothing.
Doesn't Midtown typically just give you a bag full of comics?
Yeah, they give you one of each, whatever
Yeah,
they
you don't
have.
Even, you don't even pick it out. It's like here's a bag. Here's with every issue in it.
Yeah,
Have fun.
yeah.
What you said? Dark Web is what Marvel's doing.
Yeah, so Dark Web is their upcoming event, which is like a sort of like a spiritual successor to Inferno, the actual, like it's an actual spiritual successor, not what Marvel did where they just took the name.
So it's not about Peter Parker buying a pipe bomb online.
No.
What?
We're not gonna see this on an episode of CSI or anything.
Enhance.
There's other stuff going on in that event too. It looks a little wacky, but yeah, fun stuff. Marco, are you going to Free Comic Book Day?
I'm going from the comfort of my living room. I can purchase the $0 free issue from DC, and that is what I'll be doing.
Oh,
Can you?
Yeah.
Yeah, you can get the free issues on Comixology and stuff. Well, Comixology, I don't know about right now, but you used to be able to. It used
Yeah.
to be a $0 issue. Yeah.
I found the two of them, so I'm getting those two.
now what are the ethics of that, right? Because
No, I knew you were gonna get into this shit, and you know what?
Free Comic Book
I'm
Day
just-
is about the shops.
It's
Yeah.
I'm gonna go buy a free book.
no, you go. Listen, this isn't my argument, but the argument is you go to the store, right, and you get the free books, and then you make a purchase to help the store. Just say thank you.
I say it's twofold. It's that, and then like for the people who are new, like the young people, like
Yeah.
it's like a trick or treat
Yeah.
sort of thing. Like that's fine. Get them a free book. If you're bringing kids there, buy something. Buy one of them Funky Pops or whatever. Like buy a book.
Oh yeah, well, that's another thing. So I got a couple of books. I double dipped on the Nice House trade.
Very
So I have
nice.
it digitally and physically now. I got the haha trade.
That's good.
Tremendous. But so because I got that, they had a special raffle or whatever, and I got a Mr. Mint Funko Pop from Candyland.
Okay.
Is he the chubby one?
No, he's the peppermint lumberjack.
Yeah.
Oh,
All
okay.
pink and whatnot.
Yeah.
Okay.
He's pink, but he's a mint. I
He's
guess
candy cane.
mint.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I was thinking of
So-
the green dude.
If you plan on engaging with Free Comic Book Day, do let us know what purchases you're looking to get or what you got if you're listening to us, down the road. Always like to see what it is that people decide to splurge on the day. So, couple of notes. First of all, this episode is going to be listener comments, so your guys' comments and the MCU ranking. There is no news. Free Comic Book Day plus a major Marvel movie release means that everybody's mum on all announcements. There's just nothing to talk about, which is cool because we get to hang out, talk a little more, do the rankings. So it should be fun. Just want to let you guys know that. And speaking of your comments, we're going to get to that in just a moment. I want to let you guys know how you can support the show all over the place. First and foremost is our Patreon page, which Kale just dropped his newsletter this week. Kale, why don't you talk a little bit about that?
Sure. So this week I titled it Kale's Favorite Coffee Cup because that's what I was drinking out of at the time I wrote it. I wrote a lot about Columbo, which is my favorite show at the moment. It's a detective show from the 70s and 80s about a guy who shows up and solves crime. And that's the show. That's what I wrote about. I really like it, and that's what I can give you mostly.
Kel.
I appreciate the sound of it all. It's very lively in that. You can kind of just hear things going on as you describe them. So I really appreciated those little moments.
Kale, take this for what it is, but you give off real Columbo and coffee vibes.
God, that's the kindest thing anyone could have said.
Like I see it, I get it. It fits.
I like that you went a different route. It was interesting. Little look into the mind's eye of Kale Ward. Certainly different than what Marco and I chose to do. Can't wait to see Tyler's. That should be interesting.
Hope you like getting drunk.
I do.
Ayo.
I do.
You missed.
Absolutely.
I was so I made the drink that I'm
yeah.
gonna put.
Oh, that's right.
I'm gonna put the drink that I made, the cocktail I tried out, on my newsletter coming up. But I made it for Palace Polls, and don't drink that on an empty stomach. That's a
Was it? It's a Mai
one
Tai
shot.
on top of a beer, or a beer on top of a Mai Tai,
yeah
basically.
that one yeah.
Yeah. Wild.
Nice mix
Honestly,
of rum.
once that stuff like started like really mixing together, that shit was delicious. That was good. But yeah,
I
that
might
and
have
more.
to-
That and more.
Yeah. So if you want to get drunk with Tyler,
Just that
head
way
on
name
over
it.
to the Patreon. do want to thank all these fine people who have pledged at $10 or more. So these are the people who have decided to join the Palsverse. You can too, by joining it at $10 or more on Patreon. So thank you to Thunderstruck Rebecca Alejandro, the Night Stalker Harris Najinsky, Brian Demolisher Del Pozo, Julissa the Jaguar, and Random Rocio, the Courageous Kunaladas, Kefis the Incorruptible, the Great Destroyer Hyper Viper 89, Momentum Mike Elliott, Starcross Catherine Stars, and Indestructible Indy Aaron. Thank you so much to each and every one of you. Twitch live Saturdays at 10:15 Eastern. If you want to start your weekend with the pals, you can do that. You can grab a cup of coffee, as Kale referenced, or you can grab a drink, some kind of hard liquor,
Damn.
as Tyler
It's 5
mentioned.
o'clock somewhere.
Right.
Bound to be.
It's 5
Yeah,
a.m.
whatever
somewhere.
you want to do, whatever your preference is. And we give off both energies on this show. You never know. I could show up with a blue moon. I could
Honestly,
not.
I have
Yeah.
a plan to put my cold brew old fashioned on that, which is
Ooh,
best
that
of both
sounds
worlds.
real
later.
good.
Okay.
All right. That's cool. Thursdays for Pals Pulls, 6 p.m. Eastern, every single Thursday. Let us know how you guys have been feeling about the Thursdays. Kind of like it, except that it made me miss this past one because I had to go watch Doctor Strange.
Oh, I'm so sorry about that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Misfortune.
I was also
Wild
able
inconvenience.
to dodge a brutal comics tag. Sorry, Marco and Tyler.
Don't you'll get yours.
Yeah,
It's very interesting. I've looked into it. It is.
Yeah.
I have it open still. Binky Brown.
Yeah, you guys
Same.
haven't
Have the tab open.
you haven't dipped in yet.
Our
yet.
Doctor Strange The Oath book club is out now. Go listen to that. We had a lot of fun talking about it. Gives you a good primer if you want to know more about the good doctor. Great pickup for Free Comic Book Day. Grab that
It's true.
and then head on over to watch Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness. Join our Discord. Come hang out with us. We're always having a fun time over there. Lots of good people who have been amazing about not spoiling Doctor Strange, not spoiling Moon Knight. Really tremendous job.
Yeah.
There's
Not
actually-
comicbook.com though.
Right. There's actually been not a ton of Doctor Strange talk. I don't know if it's that people haven't seen it yet, or if people are trying to be that good about spoilers. They're like, I can't talk
Yeah.
about this.
I think that's what it is. It's like a standoff, like an old Western standoff. Nobody knows. Like, did you watch it? Did you see it? I can't say anything.
We should have just like a thread for the spoilers. If you're gonna do a thing, that's just where it should be. That way, you go in at your own risk.
I don't like the segregation.
Oh, that's when you say it like that. I agree.
I choose my words carefully, Tyler. Quick note on the teased giveaway. So I do have an extra copy of the Inferno hardcover, the most recent X-Men event from Jonathan Hickman and various amazing artists. We are going to be doing a giveaway for that. Want to make sure that it encompasses everybody, gives everybody the chance to get it. So we're going to announce on social, on Discord and everything else this week exactly how you can partake, but it should be fun. Definitely want to get you guys this copy of Inferno in your hands. I spent $40 on Inferno twice. Actually, I spent more than that because I also bought every single issue. So clearly, I make bad decisions with my money, but
Fucking Mark.
my loss can be your gain. You will be able to win a copy of Inferno. One lucky listener. So we'll be giving that out really soon. Can't wait to ship that bad boy out and lose even further.
Just doubling down on that shit.
Yeah.
You're
We're all about the
waiting
listeners.
for it.
so-
You're just hoping.
Down.
You're hoping whoever wins lives in New York City, so you can just be all right. I'll just take a subway.
Listen,
Yes, I'll meet you.
I'm hoping the person who wins lives with me. Okay. I'm hoping my girlfriend wins. Don't worry, she'll be ineligible. But speaking of the listeners, let's jump into the listener comments. Tyler, take it away.
Yes. So, Harris.
Oh my god, he put the stanky leg in the back corner. Can you see that?
Oh my god, I
It's
didn't realize there were
evolving.
Easter eggs in that.
It was there last week too, I think.
Was it?
Oh
I
my
completely missed
God.
it.
Wow.
All right.
Great.
So
Tremendous.
Harris on episode 288, does death in superhero comics matter? Asked. It said X Questions is another good game. Are these a warm up for future Journey into Quistery? Sorta. Yes. I'll say yes. Yes. These are ideas that have been percolating. As fellow Yonkers-ian Mary J. Blige would say, in my head for a
Yonkers?
while. Yeah, man, she's from Yonkers.
No.
Yeah, her and Steven Tyler, those are the big ones.
Wow.
But yeah, it's just ideas I've been working on. Yeah, maybe once my I'm trying to get things situated a bit with my life. So once I have a little more free time, which may be soon, I can get that going. But he also said, honestly, if Bad Bunny was cast as a mystery role, not a spinoff, and then a surprise as he would play Miguel O'Hara, then into a solo would make more sense. One of the main issues of it being El Muerto is that is no connection to Spidey so far, and to announce this in advance, the most lukewarm wet blanket. Ooh, a lukewarm wet blanket.
No. It's a
That's
good, it's a
disgusting.
good visual.
God, I can feel that. Like, can't
Yeah.
you feel that?
I'm picturing the blanket from Brave Little Toaster for some reason. That's what I'm. No reference point for you guys. All right.
Never saw
No,
that
yeah,
one.
yeah. That's a good one.
Thanks, Marco. Thank you. I don't know. I wouldn't put him as Miguel O'Hara. Mostly because I don't really like that character.
I mean, me neither, but I wouldn't put him as El Muerto either.
I would as a wrestler.
I mean, I would in different circumstances. I'm not mad about the casting. It's just the
okay.
totality of it. I'm not even mad. It's just
What if like
funny,
there's like a Ray Phoenix or a Penta cameo in this movie?
right? Should be a Spider-Man cameo.
D-
They
I
wouldn't
mean,
mention
it should be
It's
an
gonna
El Muerto cameo in a Spider-Man movie. Let me correct myself.
Honestly, there should be a cameo by newest Marvel legend Morbius.
I think there
There's-
probably will be.
This
Bound
is in
to
the
be.
Morbius verse, right?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, you guys have heard about the announced Morbius 2, right?
The Marvel legend.
Let there be
flies again.
Morbius.
Oh, man.
Oh boy. But yeah, and then he also said death in comics has been relatively meaningless. Very few times it has maybe mattered like Identity Crisis, but has become a trope in itself, which just makes most readers groan, in my opinion. I like how out of everything that you could have brought up, you brought up Identity Crisis, which is one of the more. I mean, Kale and I love that book. I think.
I do too.
Yeah.
Yeah. All the characters that died in that book have come back some way or
Yeah.
another.
There you go.
But like that's also one of the more, I guess, universally disliked books.
And like not even
Now. Right?
now.
Sure,
yeah.
yeah.
But for different reasons too. Like not.
Yeah, not because of the story, because of the way they use death. I think that's a great example of a book. If we're talking about a book where the death mattered, right?
Yeah.
Whether you like it or not, the death mattered, and it actually drove the story, where it needed to go. And it's a great book. Did like the Wasp dying in Secret Invasion, for example, was that necessary? Did that
forgot
like
about that.
drive the story? No, it was just, hey, we got to kill. It's the last issue. Which woman are we killing? Who we killing now?
Get the fridge out.
Yeah, that's all that was. Was that
Yikes.
needed? No, but they did it.
Don't worry, Sean. She was just exploded into the quantum realm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So Chillmonger said the X questions game works. The 10 questions game works. I don't even know the name of my own game.
Questions of 10.
Questions of 10. I think that probably works the best. Yeah. Yeah. I think it has potential. I might
Has
retool
legs.
it. It has legs. Yeah. Legs that work too.
They do.
Matt wrote in saying Bad Bunny is money. Who cares about the character? Most MCU actors' careers are made by their Marvel characters. This character will be made by Bad Bunny. Have you seen the reseller cost on his tickets? It's money. I'm saying it the way I assume he would say it.
His album just came out yesterday, the other day.
Yeah, have you heard it?
What?
It's pretty good.
Bad Bunnies?
Yeah. This news coincided with the week after his album dropping. So you know what? This guy's pretty smart. I changed my position on this after that. I was like, oh, you know what? He planned this out. You're right.
What if this whole thing was just a marketing ploy? Next
Dude is a
week
marketing machine.
We'll
Dude
find
had
out.
a promo at WrestleMania, and he wasn't even wrestling. It was a promo for his tour.
Yeah, that's it. That's all it is.
Like-
This was business, dude. And you know what? I saw that. I'm like, I respect this shit. This movie now is gonna absolutely crush.
He
Well,
also
that's
has
what I'm
those
saying.
like
El Muerto's
sunglasses.
probably not even going to happen. We're going to find out next week that it was all a marketing ploy.
What if
I
it's like
love
his
this
next
conspiracy
album?
theory.
It's
That's
his
a
next
good
album,
one.
actually. It's a concept album.
That'd be cool.
Oh, is it
Look.
wait? Is it Sony that's also producing the music? Hold on.
Probably.
Oh, we gotta. Whoa, yo, what if they tie in the? Yo, I didn't even think about this. They could have a Bad Bunny soundtrack for the movie too. Shit, man,
Yeah.
this is
And
sounding
they plan
better
this
and better
out.
now.
That's what I'm saying. I'm converted on this film and on this character.
This is 4D chess.
The point of this segment, what like I don't give a shit. Like, sure, do the movie, I guess, if you really want to. It like, is it a weird ass idea? Yeah. Is it weirder than Morbius? Yeah. Was Morbius the weirdest idea that they had
Apparently
so
not.
far that got made? Yes. So if you're gonna just keep doing this, go for it. Does that make it good? No. And it's funny. But sure. Could it make the money? Yeah. Just like Morbius had a shot to make the money.
What other weird characters can Sony do with like? Can they do like a Frogman movie?
I mean, now the floodgates are open. Did you guys all saw the Spider-Man animated series, obviously.
Yep.
Remember
Yeah,
that
yeah.
episode with the dude
Felicia.
the dude who just has roller skates, like the young black kid?
Yeah, was
Oh,
it Rocket?
Rocket Racer?
maybe? Rocket Racer?
Rocket
yeah, you
Racer,
could do a Rocket
yep.
Racer movie.
Yeah.
Sure.
I haven't
Why
just
not?
Even
first-
he's
hold
got more legs than El Muerto.
He sure does. Absolutely. Yeah. So
I even have a Frogman action figure.
Oh
Like
my
Frogman
God.
could be
Wow.
like
Of course you do.
the guy who wants to be like a superhero, but like all he has is springs in a frog costume and a jetpack that barely works.
Damn, I wish I had those things.
I'm getting like super vibe. You ever see Super by James Gunn?
I know about it.
It's just like it's Dwight Schrute. Rainn Wilson plays
Rainn
a
Wilson,
superhero,
yeah.
and it's extremely graphic and violent. But I don't know, like they can explore. Do a kangaroo movie. Pace Pot Pete, isn't that a Spider-Man villain?
I don't know
go.
if he's a villain or what, but I've heard the name.
Pete Davidson stars in Pace Pot Pete.
It's the quickest way to not get my money.
Dude, you could cast Jaden Smith as Rocket Racer.
I can see it.
Yeah, of course.
We'll do that then.
The floodgates are open now. We can do anything.
Anything and everything.
Yeah. Why not? Hello, Martin Viva. Thank you for joining. Hello, my sassy pet rock. Thank you for joining. Keep
Hey.
it moving, Tyler.
Let's talk about Dan Trudeau. So Dan Trudeau says, "Great episode as always. Thanks, bud. I really appreciate the Neil Adams segment. He's my all-time favorite artist. Two more areas he was a pioneer on for creators' rights: royalties and media participation money. It's true. On this death thing, this is a discussion that's been happening as long as I've collected comics, 84 to the present, but it's hit critical mass. I think the two biggest factors were Bucky Barnes and Barry Allen.
Yep.
Wally West had firmly staked his claim as a modern Flash, tossing him aside when DC was willing to undo the death of a character, even when it had led to better stories. If you ask folks what the great comic book Flash stories are, Flashpoint is the only one that will be named involving Barry Allen. I love that in the MCU, it's not so much about death having meaning, but time. It's not frozen in amber the way the 616 universe is. Time moves forward and takes important people away. The MCU characters have to deal with moving forward in a way their comic counterparts don't. I appreciate that the same way I appreciated the Nolan creating a Batman story with a beginning, middle, and end, as opposed to one stuck forever in the middle chapter.
I love this comment. I am a more recent convert, I guess, to DC than a lot of other people. And I have been called out on that more than enough on this show. But when someone can apply the context of why Barry Allen's death, or resurrection rather, just wasn't effective, why Wally West is their Flash. I never really thought about the fact that there are no classic Barry Allen stories. Like I wouldn't know that, but okay, sure. Had no clue, but it makes a lot of sense. It's like a worthless resurrection.
Was it just done because Jeff Johns wanted to write Barry Allen?
I'm sure Flashpoint had a lot to do with it. The reset of the.
Dan had
I guess
context that I
52,
cut out just for the sake of it, for time. But he said that Dan Didio's edict was to bring back the Silver Age characters that had died and been replaced. So.
I love those Didio edicts. All right, so we got some questions on the Discord as well. So Viltrum Warrior on Discord. How do you feel about the non-Moore and Gibbons Watchmen material? Is it right to read it? Should it exist?
Yeah.
I think anything has the right to exist, especially when it's a major comics publisher. I mean, sure, maybe smells a little funny that there's more Watchmen stuff, but there are some fucking gems on that before Watchmen era. The Minutemen series by Darwin Cook. Oh, it's Darwin Cook. That's all you need to know. There was, yep, and that's collected with the Amanda Connor Silk Spectre.
Silk Spectre.
Yep.
That was good.
The Rorschach one was pretty good as well. That was by
Ryan Azzarello?
Azzarello and
Bermejo?
Joker. Bermejo. Yep.
Yes. That's a hit squad.
Yeah. Some not so good. I think there was a Adam Hughes Dr. Manhattan, which looked good. But storyline wise, I wasn't really feeling it. And there was a Jay Lee.
Ozymandias. That was real good.
I don't believe you.
What? You don't like Jay Lee though, right?
You have to like Jay Lee. Yeah.
That's the thing.
But that before Watchmen is fantastic. Like I think it fits perfectly with what Moore and Gibbons were doing.
Yeah, I think they were all spiritual successors in a really effective way. I think the way that they respected the material insofar as like the story, I think the publication end was probably a little more tumultuous because I don't think they had like express permission or something like that. But quality wise, it was real good stuff.
They didn't have permission from Alan Moore.
Yeah.
That's right.
They don't need it, but they didn't have it. But they did get it from Dave Gibbons, I believe. He's kind of been all good with this stuff. And I feel like for their purposes, to be able to do this in a way that would take some of the heat off of them, Gibbons' involvement was critical. Because if both creators are saying no, it looks really bad.
Yeah.
For my money, I think, look, we can be mad about the rights issues and we should talk about those things. And for sure, but I don't think that means that they shouldn't publish Watchmen stuff. Like shouldn't. I mean, I don't know that really plays into this. I think they have the right to do it from a legal standpoint, and they're executing that right, and they're not disrespecting it from the standpoint of putting out shit. They're not like just throwing out garbage, Watchmen this, Watchmen that.
Yeah.
The times where they've used the name, I think it's been calculated, and I think that whether you enjoyed the end result or not, there was craft and there was thought put into it. I think that for me, the best thing to come out of Watchmen ever is the show.
Yeah.
And we never would have gotten that if it wasn't for this idea that because Alan Moore's not cool with it, we can't publish it. And not that I'm necessarily trying to like argue against Alan Moore, because I agree with his perspective ultimately, but I think that the argument of, oh, well, Alan Moore doesn't want it, so it shouldn't happen, puts more weight on how the writer feels than how the artist feels. Because there are more than one creator involved. Would people have this same feeling if it was the other way around? If Dave Gibbons didn't want it, but Alan Moore did? I don't think so.
And the other thing too is like the creators that were on these books knew what was going on. Like they know the gravity of the situation, and they put respect on that too.
Didn't Len Wein do the Ozymandias book?
Possibly.
I wanted to say it was Wein and Lee.
He was
But
the
am I
editor
crazy?
that did Watchmen.
Len Wein?
So
Yeah, Swamp Thing buddy guy. Yeah.
Swamp
Let
Thing
me
buddy
see.
guy. You know the one?
Was he on that? Oh yeah, written by Len Wein and art by Jay Lee. Yeah. Okay.
Yep.
That was good stuff.
Yeah.
Oh, then who did the Crimson Corsair one? That was it was Steve Rude and John Higgins. Okay, yeah. Fucking Steve Rude art. Shit. Yeah, man, that I think I did freak out a bit when it first happened. I was kind of like on the side of the Alan Moore stuff, but like as it came out and as I read it and as I shilled money for it, I was like, this stuff is pretty good, you know.
And even the stuff, the most recent stuff, Rorschach.
Yeah.
I think
Very
It's
good.
true, yeah.
the
Yeah.
creators, whenever they're put to task within this world, they understand its importance, and they're gonna treat it with some of that reverence and some of that respect. Actually, all of that respect.
Yep.
So I want to have a small chat about Doctor Strange 2 before we get into our MCU rankings. I want to stress for those new to the chat who missed my comments earlier, no spoilers at all. But I did want to talk a little bit about the box office because Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness is doing amazing business. You know, you talk about the return of blockbuster movies. So as of midday Friday, Doctor Strange was looking at finishing up with $85 million or better for Friday. $36 million Thursday in previews.
Damn.
So that's huge. If it hits that number or better, it would rank 8th largest all-time stateside.
Doctor Strange movie.
I know. Doctor Strange 2 is also the biggest opening since Rise of Skywalker.
More than No Way Home? Wow.
If it does what they think it will do, and that's just stateside.
The projections for it, yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. For the weekend, people are saying it could be as high as 200 million. I don't think that's going to happen because of Sunday, because of Mother's Day, but it could happen. And if it doesn't, the more like normal projection is 180, which if they do 180 million in their first weekend, that's outrageous. It makes me wonder how much of this has to do with how sort of loose things have been with spoilers. Does a Doctor Strange movie do as well if you don't have any of those frills teased or announced before the movie comes out? If we don't know, if it just is a straight Doctor Strange, Scarlet Witch story, and we know basically nothing about it, the way we kind of went into this, and you cut out all the stuff that they spoiled in trailers, how successful is this movie?
I think the trailers are only really been recently. I think this coming on the heels of No Way Home and, WandaVision and they've really just been seeding Doctor Strange as like the guy. You know, he's been getting the rub, as they say. I think it would have done just as well no matter what. Honestly, it's they've kind of lined it up so well that like the next movie is always going to be bigger than the one previous to it at this point. Because it's like a domino.
There's
lining
momentum.
them up. Yeah, exactly. There's momentum to them.
I would also argue that Doctor Strange, with Iron Man being out of the picture, I think Doctor Strange is the guy, and I think that's how Marvel wanted it. At least for this phase, and I think that everything that's going on in the MCU, look, people are hip now. People have seen WandaVision. People have seen all this stuff. They've seen Loki, so they know where things are going, and you know that for the story of the MCU, watching Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness is critical.
It's just such a shame because Benedict Cumberbatch is such a bad actor. I hate this dude.
Oh man, we're gonna have to get into that.
Yeah, we'll have
In our review. We haven't actually recorded the review yet.
Yeah.
So we're all actually like chomping at the bit to
Yeah.
talk about it with each other. So there's like tension there. But yeah.
It's also funny, like, had you told me this would be the case after I saw Doctor Strange 1, I would have been like, bullshit. Like that kind of felt like a middling movie. I mean, we'll get to the ranking, you know, when we get to it, but that felt like a filler movie, honestly. And it's just weird how they really set him up throughout the Avengers movies as like this main force, and the Spider-Man movies, where like his setup hasn't even been in the Doctor Strange movies, really.
Right.
Yeah, everywhere else.
Yeah, that's
I wonder what his
that's very
contract
true.
is like. Benedict Cumberbatch's contract must be very interesting.
What?
About how many appearances he has, because he's been appearing in a lot, so it feels like Tony Stark. You know, the way he was pretty much in everything.
Did you say Pony Stark?
Oh God.
A little Freudian slip there, I guess.
Oh God. Are you a brony dude?
No. But I did heavy research on them in college.
Heavy research.
Yeah, heavy research.
Heavy research.
I had a few, you know, like a big shrine in my back. You know,
I had a dalliance with My Little Pony in college.
Well, let's just say that somebody I know, who you all know,
we all know it was Murphy. He's talked about it publicly.
Well, I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that. Let's just say the person had some interest in a nice, wholesome cartoon.
Ah, man. Okay.
and did extensive research.
You just melted my mind with that fact.
It's for my friend. But to be honest, I'm more of a rarity type. Let's. What are you saying here? Go ahead.
Yeah. So, Doctor Strange, a big hit. Big hit.
One more thing. That cloak looks comfortable as fuck. God damn, do I want a Doctor Strange cape.
Dude, they need to put that in, like, the Avengers campus in Disneyland. Like, let someone buy that for like 150. Like, that is like my limit. Where like if it was like nicely made, like maybe.
That perfect like shoulder patch where it will just perfectly sit. Oh, come on.
Do you know what they have there now? They have the Eye of Agamotto. That's a cup. You put a soda in it, and it has a straw that comes out of it that you can wear around your neck.
Oh my gosh.
You know what, Kale? I'm gonna say this now. You know, Doctor Strange cosplay. I could see that.
Oh, I could see it with you, Cal.
Ooh,
you can pull
For
it
me?
off.
Oh, I would be a
for you.
tremendous Doctor Strange. Are you kidding me?
I think you'd be a better Doctor Strange than Benedict Cumberbatch.
You're 1000% right. I would. Because I would actually put some goddamn flair in it.
But Kale would play not that there's anything wrong with this, but Kale would play Doctor Strange from The Oath.
I would definitely be Vincent Price as Doctor Strange as much as I possibly could.
That's cool, Jacariah. Jacariah says that he got back from watching Doctor Strange. Glad. Oh, well, I don't know if you enjoyed it or not. Hope you did. No spoilers. Catherine says, even without spoilers, I think this is big, knowing it's the multiverse, knowing it's going to be a lot happening, knowing this is probably the biggest movie to move the MCU forward right now. Yeah, exactly. And they can always do that. If you said to the public, hey, yeah, the next Shang-Chi movie is going to have major implications for, you know, the future of the MCU, people would have to go watch it. You know, like people would just show up. Now, I don't think you can do that. You might not be able to do that with literally any character, but someone that people already like And even if the first movie was even decent, which I think Shang-Chi was better than the first Doctor Strange,
Yeah.
they can get away with stuff like that now.
I think too the way they debuted the first trailer for Doctor Strange, this Doctor Strange 2, on the tail end of Spider-Man, I have to imagine that did a lot.
Yeah,
Yeah.
That's true.
Because
Yep.
that was perfectly placed.
That was the after credit scene, right?
Yeah.
Yep. Okay.
One thing I want to say, my last thought, this has been rattling around in my mind since I saw the movie, is that I wish this movie came out closer to WandaVision.
I could see that.
I don't know, because we have to have had all that set up, like with Loki. There was stuff in between even some of the what if stuff, like.
I would give you Loki and What If, but I think like I don't even think you needed Spider-Man for this. Like they tagged it on, but like
Yeah.
the actual consequences that like they made you think that's what this movie was about didn't happen.
Yeah.
Yeah. I would say I
Right,
would think
sorry.
WandaVision happened at the right time because you're trying to recondition your audience to be like, hey, there's a TV show now. There are TV shows that matter.
Sure.
You gotta anchor it with someone big. I can argue that maybe they could have done that with Falcon and Winter Soldier, but I think WandaVision was probably a better option.
All right, let's save the rest of our conversation for the review. Let's
teaser, guys.
Let's rank these things. We're going to be doing our MCU ranking. We're ranking every single MCU movie because we hate ourselves and want to argue with each other. That ranking will include Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. So this is post that movie. We are not doing the shows. That will be its own separate thing down the road. Are you guys ready to get right into it, or?
I'm waiting, baby.
I'm gonna see if I can find my old ranking because this isn't the first time we've done this.
That is true. I think the last time we did it on the show was pre-COVID.
Yeah, it was like a year-end show, I think, right?
And I'm not sure.
Did it come out?
It was
So it wasn't like this. So we did it in like a very like pre-internet way where
Corkboard?
we each ranked the movies and I took down everyone's ranking and then figured out where each one would go based on the amount of points. Yes. That's how we did it.
I think we did it. It was pre-Infinity War, pre-Endgame.
It included Far From Home. That was the last movie we had.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because I remember mine had Infinity War and Endgame at number 1 and 2 or something like that.
Oh yeah, because that
It took
came
me
out
a bell,
really
actually,
close
yeah.
to Endgame.
Yeah.
Within a year.
Yeah.
Yep. So, welcome to our MCU ranking. This will include Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. We are excited to present this to you now. We have, as you can see if you are watching, the tier list, courtesy of tierlist.com, right, Tyler?
Tiermaker.com.
Tiermaker.com, thank you. And it's got every MCU movie on it. We are going to rank these according to, what do we have? S tier, right? Because you got to have an S tier. A tier, B tier, C tier, and F tier. So we have 5 different tiers.
Okay, we'll go straight to the F tier.
Okay, here we go.
I mean, I know
Thor
what
2,
is going on.
Iron Man 1, Endgame.
Ooh, okay.
All 3 Spider-Mans.
We'll get to those.
All
those spicy
right.
takes.
Slow down. So we're going to go in release order.
Yes.
So we're going to
that's how I
start
have it.
from Iron Man, and the last movie that we'll talk about will be Doctor Strange. If you have not seen Doctor Strange, you are safe. We will not spoil anything whatsoever. We are simply going to place the movie. I don't think we need any other preamble. I think that's it.
I think we're good with the amble. Yeah.
Let's do it. Oh, we do have a highlighted message, so we have to read it. Catherine says, Iron Man S tier ranking done.
Okay, slap it on. You heard her.
Well, I mean, that's the first one. We can get
I
right
think
to
we're
it.
about to lose a listener,
Oh,
but it is
interesting.
the first one. So let's do it.
All right. Who wants to talk about Iron Man 1 first? Because it's been a while since I've watched this.
It been
Yeah.
I'm comfortable with it. I watched Iron Man 1 since the pandemic started. I believe I saw Iron Man 1. And I really, really, really like this movie.
Does
I
it
think-
stand up?
Yeah, I believe it does. I think Iron Man 1 set the tone for the MCU in a great way. I think that the MCU has kind of like become a little less risky in terms of the kinds of things that it will do in a movie. This definitely has the DNA of the movies that were coming out around it, in the sense that it has a sex scene. You know, it has various. Well, sort of.
Is it
Iron
when
Man
Tony
and the
is
reporter.
in the cave? Oh, never mind.
that,
I don't know what
that-
happens. What happens in the cave stays in the cave. You know?
that would not be. Never mind. You know, it has certain things that feel like it belongs in that time frame, and I think Hulk feels the same way. So in that way, it still feels unique, even though the blueprint of the MCU, from a movie standpoint, definitely takes most of its cues from Iron Man. The acting is superb. Robert Downey Jr. was acting for his life. Like, my man needed his career to revive really bad, and he brought everything to the table, and he killed it. And I think everybody did. I still like Ironmonger, Obadiah Stane as
Dude, it's what's his
villain.
face? Who's the actor? Kale, help me out here.
I love this guy too.
Big Lebowski, right?
Yes,
Shit, why am I blanking?
the cowboy movie.
Jeff Bridges.
Jeff Bridges.
Yeah,
Thank you,
Tron.
thank you, thank
Okay,
you.
Yeah, I love
Love
Jeff
Jeff
Bridges, but I can't
Bridges.
forget his. I apparently not enough to remember his name, but
So for me, I think Iron Man is almost perfect. It does pretty much everything right. I think it's at the top of A.
I'm comfortable with A. That makes a
yeah,
lot
I
of
think
sense.
I am too. Actually, yeah.
Wow.
It's also the blueprint of
Yeah.
Yeah.
everything. Really, it reinvents what an origin movie is. I think it does. Like, that origin part is
Yeah.
perfect.
Well
Like,
done.
that scene where he finally comes down with like the actual suit and he's fighting those terrorists. I mean, yeah, this is an ad to join the army essentially, but besides that, that's just Marvel movies in general. But besides that, I do think it's very good.
I definitely have not seen this movie in years. I was gonna be like, yeah, solid B.
I mean, that's 3 A's. I think that settles that one.
It's an
Have
A.
it.
Oh, wait,
yeah.
before we leave Iron Man 1, Terrence Howard. Does that drop it to a B? Or does it bring it up to an S?
I like Terrence.
I did too.
I liked him.
This is right
frankly,
off Hustle and Flow, right?
I know it's
Yeah.
it was a pay issue or whatever, and they
There
just
was a
dropped
pay
it.
issue. Yes.
I might like him more than Don Cheadle because he's different from Robert. You know,
Fair.
His energy is his energy is so, you don't know what's gonna happen with him, even when it's
Yeah.
on set, on screen, like, you don't know. Whereas, help me out, who plays War
Don
Machine
Cheadle?
now? Thank you,
Don
Don Cheadle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's he's a dependable. You know exactly what you're gonna get from him, but nothing else.
Mhm.
So I prefer Don Cheadle, but I really like Terrence Howard in part 1.
I would have liked present day Cuba Gooding Jr. as War Machine.
and you know what? I also agree with that.
Kefis and Catherine say it should be S.
Well, then they can
Wow.
get
We'll see.
podcasts and do their own ranking.
Oh boy,
actually,
is that
guys,
the energy?
I will be sharing this ranking link once we're done. Actually, I could probably share it now. Is there okay, let me not ruin it for the
By the way, these movies can move around. Like, there's
Yeah, I'm sure they will.
This is a fluid list until we lock it in at the end.
I think the S should be the hardest to get into.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sure it'll drop from the A to the B, so we'll be good.
That's gonna be tough.
The B is going to be full.
I think that's probably true. Speaking of, let's move us along.
Incredible Hulk. starring not
this
Mark
one's
Ruffalo.
Ed Norton.
Edward Norton.
Yeah.
That's right.
C. Throw him in the C tier.
Oh, I thought you were
No,
speaking Spanish.
I give this one a B.
I
I actually
go ahead.
I really like Edward Norton.
I like him as an actor. I haven't seen him in years.
I do feel like his portrayal of Bruce Banner is more familiar to me as Bruce Banner.
Yeah.
In terms of like a comic book Bruce Banner. It's a lot more reserved, but sure of himself at the same time. Like sure of his possibility and what he can become, and he's scared of that. Whereas Mark Ruffalo has always felt a little goofy,
Yeah.
a little bumbly. Which not to say I don't enjoy. I do enjoy it, but it's not what I remember, what I feel like Bruce Banner is. Whereas I think this works. The movie itself is a little all over the place, I think. But I remember really enjoying this. To be fair, it's been a while since I've seen it, though.
Real long time.
I think this movie is very good.
Really?
Yeah, I love William Hurt. Rest in peace. I think that he did a great job.
Yeah.
Like I don't know that we could ever have another General Thunderbolt Ross, like in terms of an actor to play him. That is the character. Like he is that character, and he didn't get a lot of time on screen ever outside of this movie. But I think he did a great job. I also really like Liv Tyler.
Yeah.
Her as Betty. I wish that they could bring her back, but they really haven't since this film. And as you guys said, sorry,
Is she coming back for She-Hulk? Did I read that somewhere? Or
I'm not sure. I hadn't heard. And Edward Norton does Edward Norton like that. To that point, right? Edward Norton was a bigger star than Robert Downey Jr. for sure. So
Yeah.
Edward Norton playing the Hulk was a big deal, and he delivered. That is the one actor loss in terms of them being replaced, them being cut,
Yeah.
that I miss the most.
Yeah.
I think that the MCU would be better with Ed Norton as the Hulk.
Wow. Not Mark Ruffalo.
I love Mark. I think he does a great job, but it's the same thing as Don Cheadle versus Terrence Howard. Mark Ruffalo's more reliable. He's going to give you the same thing every time, but that peak that Ed can hit, we're not going to ever get.
I mean, personally, I think Mark Ruffalo is a better actor, but like in general. But I do think where his vibe is a little more MCU, whereas Ed Norton was doing like a Marvel Comics vibe for me.
Yeah.
That's fair.
I can see that. I think had Ed Norton stayed, it would have been. We probably would have gotten more Hulk sequels.
Yes. Well, legally that's tough, but I think they would have tried harder.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah. Because they'd have had to pay Ed Norton.
Do we know why he isn't Hulk anymore? I think I knew that, but I don't remember it anymore.
Yeah, there were creative differences. Edward Norton felt that he should have more control over the story and stuff like that, and allegedly he was hard to deal with, which they throw around a lot. Who knows the reality of that? But yeah.
Good question.
Like
Are
that
we
cyborg
taking
guy.
in relevance and importance to the MCU in ranking?
I am. When I'm talking about my feelings on any of these movies, I am, yes. Just to give an answer, I'm sorry I'm rambling. I would put this in B. I think it's a solid B.
I like B.
Yeah, I'm cool with B.
Tim Roth also really good in this.
Yes,
I
absolutely.
love Tim Roth,
Good call.
who is coming back, which is exciting.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah, he will be in She-Hulk as Emil Blonsky. Whether or not they have the budget to do more Abomination for that remains to be seen. But
They blew it all in Shang-Chi.
they might have blown the budget in Moon Knight too at the end there.
Iron Man 2. Hey, whoa.
So Marco, B.
I said C, but
Oh, yeah, I voted. Sorry.
The bees have it.
Iron Man
the
2.
bees have it.
Can I ask an honest question?
Yeah.
Do any of you remember Iron Man 2? And
I watched
there's
it fairly recently.
There's only one thing I remember in it. A parrot. I think Whiplash had a parrot.
Yeah.
That's really the only thing that jumps out to me is the parrot. and the introduction of Black Widow. Like that. That's the only thing that I remember from that movie.
Don Cheadle.
I don't remember him in that movie.
He makes his first
I
appearance.
remember the War Machine costume and where they do that thing where they're like back to back and they're shooting things, but like I don't remember Don Cheadle in it. It's such a forgettable movie to me.
It's a B for me.
A B. Interesting.
Yeah, I think it's fine. I don't think it's. If anyone wanted to convince me it was a C, I'd definitely be open to it.
I'd say F.
No, I don't think it's an F.
That's
no, it's definitely
harsh.
Because it's still watchable,
Yes.
and it's like it does like Iron Man at this point is still creating the roadmap for the MCU, and it still works.
Dude, that fight at the end with Iron Man and War Machine versus all those like bots, and that was for a while my favorite fight in the MCU. I still think it was really, really cool.
I'd put it at a C. Yo, I swear to God, I feel like all of these early movies just fit into C. That's it. Up until, I don't know, phase 2, that's where you're slapping these babies.
I cannot wait to switch places with you, Marco. This is going to be so fun.
I'm gonna say B.
So we have two
For now.
B's, a C, and an F. Is that right? Am I?
That sounds
Remembering
like
this
an average
correctly?
down to C.
Yeah, I think that's a C. All right, so this can
Not
go.
the movie I'm gonna argue for.
Yeah, it's not going to go B for bored. I remember him saying bored, like a bird. Like that's literally all I remember. I remember a deranged Mickey Rourke acting in this, like real, like right after The Wrestler. They're like, "Yo, Mickey Rourke's back," and they put him in this, and it is something.
Yeah, that's right. Harris says it was a waste of Sam Rockwell, and I do
I
agree
agree.
with that.
I think Sam Rockwell's fantastic. Moon, probably one of my favorite movies.
Let's talk about Thor.
And then, do we?
Yes.
Did we got a Thor?
Yeah.
Who was
Thor is
the
a B.
villain of this? The villain. Of
I
this
really
was-
like the first Thor.
Say
I
B.
think it's fine.
Yeah,
B.
I think it's
Not a
B.
strong B, but a B.
What,
Yeah.
Who was the villain of this? It was Loki and the Frost
Loki.
Giants?
Loki and the Destroyer.
Yeah.
The Destroyer. Okay. Yep.
Yeah. I think that Chris Hemsworth is very much not in his element yet. I think he becomes a lot more comfortable down the road in the MCU. But for the version of Thor that he was playing, which is the more straight-laced, I'm a thunder god, I'm a cool guy, that version, I think he nails this better here than anywhere else. And I really like Loki a lot. I think this
Yeah.
is probably Loki's best at bat for my money.
Also directed by Kenneth Branagh, which is for what they were doing,
Yeah.
a tremendous choice.
Yeah.
I think the biggest feat of this movie is that it really cements Asgard as something in the MCU. Like the world building this succeeds at is
Yeah.
really good.
and it's effortless. It's
yeah.
effortless.
Yeah, I think that's a strength of Branagh. Where
Yeah.
like the Warriors 3 are in this and they're fun in this.
Yeah.
You know, Sif is in this. The world that it built was great. The dynamics between Odin and his kids. I agree. I don't think Thor really was the shining point of this. I think B works good because it stands for bleached eyebrows, which is what happened in this movie.
And I also take the time to shout out Kat Dennings.
Man, you gotta. I understand you now, Sean. I get it.
There it is. He unlocked it.
Yep. This tracks.
Yeah, I'm gonna change mine to a B. Thor's solid B for me. Maybe not a solid B, but it's a B.
Solid B for Kat Dennings.
That's not the letter I would use.
I was thinking it
let's-
too. The letter's not here though, so
Talk about Captain America: The First Avenger. Easy C, and if you tried to
What?
argue F, I would say sure.
really,
on.
I love
Not a
this
fan.
movie.
I do
Not a
too.
fan.
This is an A for me.
Yeah, high B, A for me. Easy.
Wait, for Cap?
Yeah.
Sean, you said F?
I said C, but if someone said F, and they really argued hard, I would say, okay,
What?
I do not like this movie.
Bro, you put was it Iron Man or
Go
whatever
ahead, go
at
ahead.
B, and you're gonna put this at a low C?
Yeah, I think Iron Man does everything right, and I think this movie does like half of everything right.
Yo, I'm gonna take 2 of whatever Sean's smoking right now.
You're gonna take 2 of what I'm smoking.
Yo, this is A. This is a hard A.
Okay.
This is such like good genre war
Yeah.
stuff. Like it's dorky too, which I really like about it. Chris
It
Evans
fits.
is charming as shit in this.
Yeah.
Yeah, the mustache twirliness of Hugo
one
Weaving
dude.
as Red Skull.
Yeah.
Oh man, it's just I look back on this one fondly.
Yeah, same.
Just that montage scene of him, you know, doing the Cap stage show for the troops.
Yeah.
I should say that I really don't like origin movies that much. And this is an origin movie. All the other ones we talked about, the characters already have their powers or they find a way to tell the origin in an interesting fashion, like Iron Man 1. This is just a straight origin. It's not the movie that I wanted at all.
I thought you were gonna
Cap's
say I'm
origin
not a
isn't
fan of
that
World War
interesting.
II.
Yeah, it's really not that interesting. And that's I find the movie to be boring.
3 A's and a B. Does that make it a B? No, that.
I gave it a C.
Oh, does that make it a B?
Well, this is where
3
my
A's
letter
and a
math
B?
isn't good. I think where my thinking is, if it's split down the middle, then we even it out somewhere. But if there's a majority, I think it goes to the majority. Does that make sense?
That's fair.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
So I'm putting this.
Slap it in the A's.
Do we put it about? I guess we'll sort out the order of the things at the end.
I would say it's the bottom of A.
Sure.
But we'll see. We'll see what else is an A. You know, who knows?
Yeah.
Maybe Thor: The Dark World will be an A. Who knows?
Yeah. Let's talk about at least an easy A, the Avengers.
Emma Stone's not in that.
Haha.
It's busy getting
Yeah.
her neck snapped in a different movie.
Definitely A.
Yeah. I'm all right with that.
I have trouble
Heresy
rewatching
S.
this.
I think it wasn't this one, but my my trouble with Avengers movies started from this one because I was while I was seeing it, they got to the climax, right? The battle for New York or whatever. And I was sitting next to someone who through the whole thing kept going, yeah, that's what we're here to see. That's what we're here to see. Yeah. I was like, you gotta be kidding me.
I will never forgive the Marvel movies for encouraging audience participation.
Yeah.
I hate that shit. I hate people being happy.
Wow.
Preach. Yeah.
Getting cheers in the theater. No.
No, thank you. No, shut up. Keep it in your head. I'm trying to listen. I want to hear the score. I want to hear the different swells and crescendos. You know, I don't care what you have to say.
Yep.
And it started with this movie. I feel. You know, I feel like this movie does not hold up.
I haven't
Personally.
seen it in a while. To be fair, I haven't seen it in a while.
I don't agree with that. I think we have higher expectations for these movies now, and in retrospect, Avengers 1 is a very simple movie. But I think that if you can watch it within the context of when it takes place within the MCU, I think it's great. I think it has a lot of work to do, but you have to give Joss Whedon credit, although I know that's not unpopular, for managing all these characters. That had never been done before. The X-Men movies do not try to balance the characters at all. There's Wolverine as a character and everybody else is irrelevant. Whereas, so there's not even a roadmap. Joss Whedon
Sure,
could
that's
only
true.
look to the comics and his own experience with Buffy to figure out how to make an ensemble cast movie with characters with powers who have to figure out a reason to join each other.
That are all white.
Introduce
Oh.
introduce Shield in like a grander sense, deal with cosmic stuff, an alien invasion, all in one movie. This is an S. That defeat alone to me makes it an S.
Wow.
I want to say A.
I'm gonna say
I'll
A.
give it an
I
A.
think there
I don't
are
know about S.
I think there are S tier Avengers movies. I will say that.
Yes.
But I think this is a high. I would say I would put it below Iron Man in an A, but
I'd put it above Iron Man.
I think it has pacing issues. I think it teeters on the whole, are we really going to stick together? Are we on the same team thing a little too long. I hate that Captain America costume.
Yeah.
It's not good. Yeah, I give it an A. Are we? I guess that's three
think
A's
A.
and one S.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because I think Catherine says in the chat that at the time it certainly would have been S tier. However, this is of the whole universe. The whole history of the thing, and there are better ones at this point. So I think we can look at its faults and judge it, according to them.
All right, well, that takes us into phase 2, which begins with Iron Man 3.
I did not know this was the order of that movies came up in. Like once we get past Avengers, I lose track of the order of stuff. I forgot Iron Man 3 was this soon.
I can't stand this movie. Really? I can't stand it.
Really? I really enjoyed it.
The twist of the Mandarin not being a real character pissed me off like probably nothing else that the MCU has done. It felt like a betrayal in a lot of ways because the movie's promotion was built around the Mandarin being in it, and they knew how bad fans wanted to see that character, and that turn for a joke just took all the wind out of my sails. I don't think I've ever actually been more disappointed while watching a movie than I was with this. And I don't think that the rest of the story is too much better either. The Iron Man, Tony Stark, his personal issues post Avengers and what he went through, that's all good. But I think literally everything else around it is bad. I can't stand it.
The extension of the twist, even with who is it?
Guy Pearce?
It's not. Who is it?
Adrian. I got Guy Pearce playing Adrian Eldritch Killian. Is that who you're talking about?
Okay. Yeah. Even the extra twist of Killian being the bad guy was muddled with whoever the other woman was that wasn't Gwyneth Paltrow.
Rebecca Hall.
There was some kind of extra bad guy thing there that's very muddled, as I recall, and I couldn't keep track.
Yeah.
It's cool to see all the Iron Man suits. And I like Tony's stuff in this film. It's a C for me.
Yeah. Frankly, all I remember is the flashbacks and like the horror from Tony, and then the suits, like the fight at the end. Whenever I think of this movie, I forget that the Mandarin pops up because it's just it doesn't stick. I'm like, oh, that's right. Whenever we talk about it, oh yeah, that's right. He was in this. Otherwise, no memory.
What I
easy
this
C.
was.
I really want to say F, to be honest.
Fuck it.
I'm going to say F. I'm saying F.
I will say B. I think that the whole PTSD storyline that Tony goes throughout this is such a more quiet and I don't want to say nuanced because that sounds snooty, but much more nuanced than what the Marvel movies were doing previous to this. It was an actual character piece that I felt like they had to then shove in big budget action scenes to. This felt like therapy for Tony Stark, especially after what happened in Avengers. And it surprised me because I was not expecting this to be the direction they went with it at all. I enjoyed it for that. I'm perfectly fine with the Mandarin swerve. I think the character of the Mandarin sure has importance in the comics, but it's a bit of an antiquated kind of character. I would give it a B. I can't put this above Iron Man 2. I don't think this is worse than Iron Man 2. Maybe I can maybe say C if it's above Iron Man 2.
Okay, well, we got 2 Fs, so just put it wherever the hell it goes.
Kel?
I said C.
Oh, there's no middle there. Shit. That throws my plan off.
Sounds like it's
BC and F, and 2 Fs.
Hold on,
that's,
I gotta.
that's a
Where's
majority.
my special coin? I have a special coin somewhere. for issues like this that I can't
What's
find.
in C again?
Iron Man 2?
Iron Man
No,
2.
Thor. Oh, yeah.
And
Tyler, do you think this movie is better than Iron Man 2?
Iron Man 2? I think it's better than Iron Man 2, personally, yeah.
I don't.
I don't either.
Yeah, man, it has to go to F.
All right. I guess we got to fill that up somehow.
Wow. Gonna
all
coax
right.
Kale down from that C.
Well, speaking of Fs, here comes another one, Thor: The Dark World.
Ayo,
Christopher
easy.
Yeah,
Eccleston
dude.
killing it in this movie.
It's bad. Yeah, go ahead.
Do we have to have the discussion? Like,
No, it's bad.
we know, yeah, it's bad.
Yeah.
I think there are some good parts of the movie.
Oh, here we go.
I think
You want this to be 2 hours, right?
yeah. I think the Warriors 3 in this is fun. That's it. I don't remember this movie at all. I remember the red goo and Eccleston and a fight
Yeah.
at London. That's all I remember.
You know, the
Can we not do this? We have so many movies to talk about.
my
are we
my
just gonna throw
friend's
this in F?
dad.
Yes.
Yeah, F definitely. My friend's dad was actually in the office building where they had that big fight in
Oh, is he okay?
Oxford, wherever. These are covering still,
Okay.
but you know,
That's good. All right.
All right.
My first S tier, Captain America: Winter Soldier.
yes,
I love this movie. I
This
think
is-
it's my favorite Marvel movie.
Yeah. This is the first one where it's like, oh shit.
yeah,
You know, the MCU is real. Because up until this point, you know, they all like they kind of feel the same. They're more generic movies, I guess, Captain America aside. They're superhero movies, whatever. This one injects a genre to it. It's a spy thriller, and then it uses the Winter Soldier character maybe better than the comics did. But if you disagree with that, I would say that in terms of the concept of the character, I think the concept of the Winter Soldier is used better than any of the other characters that we've seen so far. It's literally perfect.
I
Yeah,
like
I
the
think-
way too that this is really where they start playing with the integration for TV and stuff. Because Agents of Shield was really born out of this in
yeah.
combination with the Avengers.
Carter?
yeah.
Did Carter come out of this?
More like the first
Not
movie, but yeah.
quite.
For me, this I remember the return of Bucky, that and the fact that they carried that over post the first movie. That was like for me the first time that it felt like, oh cool, we're carrying these ideas forward collectively. Like we've seen we've had the sequels for Iron Man and whatnot, but this was one that extended over a longer period of time, not just for like the sake of a sequel, and integrated a different part of the story, and expanded it at the same time with Hydra and this is absolutely S tier.
Also, it introduces Falcon, like one of the
Yeah.
staples of the MCU.
On your left.
This really, I think,
On
also
your left.
solidified Scarlett Johansson's portrayal of Black Widow.
Yeah.
We got her in
absolutely.
Avengers and we got her in Iron Man 2, but like this is where I feel like she kind of came into her own in it.
Not even in her own film.
We'll
No.
get to it. We'll get to it.
Hell no.
A decade later.
I think somebody else might have come into their own in that film instead, but yeah, we'll get to it.
Let's talk about Guardians of the Galaxy.
Oh, this is a tough one.
I had fun when I first saw this. I remember specifically having a lot of fun when I first saw this, and
I think it's an A for me.
yeah, I'm gonna say
Yeah,
A.
me too. I think it also was proof that Marvel couldn't do wrong. We'll see it, I guess, debunked later on. But it was like, oh, Marvel can really just bust out some random shit and it'll still work, you know? I think this was this showed how good their casting was. Say what you will about Chris Pratt. as a person and the stuff he supports. But he fucking is
fan of
Star-Lord,
Nintendo.
you know? He is Star-Lord. So, and I also just like me as a Guardians of the Galaxy, like comic book fan when this came out, dude, I was so hyped, man. I was so excited for it.
I think this is one of the first ones where they sort of pull a group out of
A Groot?
a group out that for a large audience just didn't have familiarity. Some of these other characters have the name brand attached, but the Guardians kind of came out of left field, at least for me, and at the time, not as well versed in comics, but the movies were at least helping to widen some of that knowledge gap. And this was one of the first ones where I'm like, oh, this feels like a pull. For some people, it might not have been, but for me, it definitely was. For that, I give it a lot of credit, making me care about an otherwise unknown team.
So number one, I do not like this movie very much.
Wow, no soul.
I would put it in C probably. But number two, it's definitely not going to be above Avengers. Sorry, can't let you do that, Tyler.
I put it back in the order of when we added them to the list, so we'll organize it later. We'll get to that discussion.
Just do it now. Why not?
It's got Lee Pace, Sean. Come on,
I don't even know who that is.
He doesn't do anything.
he almost does a dance off.
The movie has a awful villain, like really bad. If we did a ranking of the worst MCU villains, he'd be at the S tier of that list.
Is that good?
No.
That seems like a positive of a negative. I mean, I guess you
He's
have to
the
rank
best of
them.
the worst, I guess.
We'll talk about some more worse.
Well, I don't know. Let's talk about Avengers:
okay.
Age of Ultron.
F.
I really, really enjoyed this movie.
Ugh, God.
I really do. I think that Ultron is a fantastic villain. Probably the second best villain that we've had to this point. I would put Winter Soldier above Ultron, but other than that, I think Ultron's fantastic. The opening fight scene is amazing, and I think the fights in general were leveled up from Avengers 1.
Fair.
The introduction of Scarlet Witch and Quicksilver I really enjoyed. Scarlet Witch is my favorite MCU character, and I was so happy to see her finally make her debut here. I think the movie is not perfect. Vision's great too. Thor's great. The lead into Civil War. I think the only flaw this movie has, the only thing that really eats at me is some of the Thor dream stuff is really bad and doesn't make any sense. But other than that, I think this movie's fantastic, and in my list, it's an A.
I think this movie got screwed over by editing. This felt like something where too many cooks were in the kitchen, because there are glaring omissions about the pacing of this movie. I feel especially the Thor stuff. It jumps out to you during this whole movie. I still have an issue with the Quicksilver stuff, but
I think this movie is the peak of the consortium, or whatever you want to call it, the group that Disney had sort of overseeing these films, that included people like Brian Michael Bendis,
Jeff Loeb.
and
Or is it
Jeff Loeb, the owner of Marvel, Mike Perlmutter, people like that. And this was when Kevin Feige had to answer to them, and some of these scenes got included directly because of that. So,
I think for the importance of how it introduces so many pivotal characters that have become staples, and now have long-lasting consequences, for me, I would typically put this at a C, just for the sake of it being a film.
Yeah.
But because it has that weight to it, I'll slap it onto the B.
I
I can
C.
give it that.
I'm firmly in C on this one. It's all right. I think all the characters that it introduces are done much better in subsequent films. Yeah, it's I don't think Ultron's that great of a villain. I did like the spin on the creation of it. How do you do that without Hank Pym? They found a way. But yeah, I wasn't really feeling it.
Okay, where you at?
Oh, I'm an F. I absolutely hate this movie. This, for me, I think is the beginning of. No, I don't think. I know this is the beginning of my dislike for the majority of the MCU, and it could very well be that, like Sean said, this was the, the peak of the era of the consortium or whatever. But this was the first Marvel film where I remember leaving the theater going, I just really hated that. So everything else you guys said is lovely, but for me, it's a straight F. I hate it.
So we got an A, a B, a C, and an F.
Wow, I don't
That's
understand
all over
math
the
at this
place.
point.
I feel like that maths to a C.
You were a little wishy washy on the BC, Marco. So I think you're the
Yeah.
swing vote here.
All right, I'll slap it on the C.
All right, give it a whole C.
Better not.
here.
I think that's harassment.
Oh, that hurts too. Some people are into it. Ant-Man.
All right. Yeah.
Edgar
Ant-Man.
Wright's Ant-Man. Oh wait, I'm learning that never happened. Okay.
That's an S.
Ant-Man's a B for me.
I
Yeah.
have it as an A. I love Ant-Man. I think Ant-Man's
think
fun
it's-
as shit.
It's fun. It's rewatchable. It doesn't really have any major stakes. It's kind of a low to the ground film. I find the his friend really annoying, but I can't really fault the film for that necessarily. So yeah, B for me.
B.
Yeah, this is a
3
solid
Bs,
B.
okay.
Like
I think
a good
Paul
B,
Rudd is
too.
fantastic.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
I'm gonna put it in a
Oh
high
yeah.
B.
Yeah, 1000%.
B for B Man.
Civil War.
All
I
right.
feel like this is an interesting one.
Yeah.
Civil War?
Yeah.
I feel like this is pretty easy. It's an S, right?
An S. Huh.
S for Spidey Man. Come on, boys.
So for me,
Not
this
gonna
is an
come on,
S.
boys.
I think
Really?
I think Civil War, I was like, how are they going to pull this off? How are they going to do this storyline? I, love the comic very much. I think the movie did as admirable a job as it could have done using this concept at the time that it chooses to do that. Fracturing the Avengers post Age of Ultron, I remember really, really feeling like, damn, I felt something for these characters and the fact that they were no longer together and the separation, watching them fight and stuff like that. Of course, the introduction of Spider-Man is incredible, but also often forgotten. This movie also gave us Black Panther for the first time. And it's also one of the few Marvel movies to this point that has like a point to make beyond just being about, the superhero stuff. And I think Black Panther spearheads that in a lot of ways, talking about vengeance and whether or not, it's righteous to pursue vengeance in the face of losing family or losing loved ones. And I love that. And also holding the Avengers to task for the stuff that they've done and how reckless they've been. I think there's a lot of great stuff. The fights are awesome. To me, this is an S.
For me, it's like a high B. I think there's a little too much going on, and I don't like how it's billed as Captain America: Civil War, where it's essentially Avengers 2.5. I feel like the if I remember correctly, they're still trying to do is Winter Soldier still in the background here too?
Yeah.
Throughout this,
Yeah,
Yeah,
he is,
he's
yeah.
the.
I feel like
he's-
that's kind of tacked on with this, minus the whole like Black Panther stuff. Like he's the one that like spearheads that plot point, but like I feel like they wanted to tell a story there. I think that using the Civil War thing this early on was a fucking mistake.
this early on, 10 years in.
Yeah, in my opinion, Civil War works better when Spider-Man and the Fantastic Four are more solidified. Like if you're doing an adaptation of the comics,
But that's
Plus,
the
I wanted to
thing
see that school get blown up.
Oh no!
You have to judge it for what it is.
Yeah,
Eh,
within
fair,
the parameters that it's operating in, I think it does a stellar job for the story. And me not having read the series beforehand and being able to look at it now, Like they translated some of the central ideas, and I think that's important.
I say I can go for an A. I think it's
A.
not. I don't think it's Winter Soldier. That's my thing. I'm seeing Winter Soldier, and I can't put Civil War at the same level as Winter Soldier, in my opinion.
Yeah, I don't know that I've seen this film since it came out, and it really hits me where it hurts because of my stance on superheroes actually fighting bad guys instead of each other. But I do agree with Sean. Like, you can really feel the message that they were going for. And I think that's a lot more important and tangible in this film. So yeah, that works for me. That's I think it's an A.
All right.
All right, well, we'll throw this in the A then.
Yeah, throw it in the A.
Doctor Strange. Strangier.
Strange.
C.
Yeah,
C.
my gut says C. Are we all automatically all C?
Whoa! Holy shit!
This solidifies the mystic part of the MCU, which I think it does a good job at. But I think the movie as itself is doesn't know what it wants to be.
Yeah.
It wants him to be, Diet Tony Stark.
Yeah.
What
that-
else?
For that, I make it a B. I agree with Jack right here and Harris. I think it's a B. While it's not, it feels like a very just run of the mill center, origin plus sort of introduction to the character. I don't know that it's bad because I think the visuals were pretty good. The story is easy enough to follow and fun. Yeah, this is a B.
The
Coming off
villains
of
are
Civil
trash
War?
in it though.
But that's the thing. You're coming off of Civil War, fine, but I don't think that's. I don't think it's a fair comparison.
Marco, do you
I
know
thought
the
it was a
villain's name?
letdown. I agree with Kill.
What?
Marco,
I
what's
thought
the
it was
villain's
a
name in
letdown.
this movie?
Wow.
Was your question, Tyler?
I was asking if Marco, can you tell me the villain's name in this movie?
Isn't it Dormammu?
It's one of them, but it's like a final hour reveal.
Yeah, I don't remember the other guy. To be fair.
Oh, Caecilius? No, that name this. Like, I think the villain is just boring in this. I think
Isn't
it's
it Mads
all set
Mikkelsen?
piece. Yeah, it is. Who's good?
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, and in Wasted, I think it's another Christopher Eccleston situation where like you got like
Yeah.
a good actor and they just gave him shit. Can't make chicken salad out of chicken shit with this one.
What is this mess that's on the next one?
The next one's the Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2.
Oh.
Yeah.
I like this one less than I like the first one.
Yeah, same.
B for me. Solid
Oh,
B.
this is a hard C for me.
C, and if you talk, you could easily talk me into an F. I
Same.
fell asleep during this movie. I can't.
Wow.
It's one of the only MCU movies I've never seen again. I did not like it.
Yeah, not a fan.
Yeah, I think it's a C for me too.
right.
Like, I didn't like Baby Groot. I thought you ruined a good character there. Like, I thought Groot, like adult Groot, was great. Yeah, it's fine. This movie just reeked of, Guardians 1 did so good. Let's get more marketing. Let's get more
Yeah.
toys. This
Yeah.
just felt like action figure the movie.
I'd say B, but I can be convinced into a C, Tyler, I think.
I mean, it's 3 C's in a
Yeah.
BC. I think
Right,
that throws
yeah.
it into the C range there. Spider-Man: Homecoming.
A.
All right,
Yeah.
so
I have to abstain this one. I
yeah,
haven't seen it.
yeah.
Really?
I hate Tom Holland, so therefore it sucks, but you can't count that.
Did you watch Uncharted?
No, I didn't watch Uncharted.
Okay, I don't think anyone did.
Did you just hear it? Oh,
I,
ouch.
I think No Way, or rather, Homecoming is an A. I actually watched it ahead of No Way Home. I really, really enjoy it every time I see it. I think that Michael Keaton's Vulture is tremendous.
It's really good.
And if we were doing a list of the MCU villains, I would have a strong argument for him being an S tier villain. I think that, you know, reintroducing Spider-Man to the world, they had a lot of work to do, considering that this was the third time that we were seeing an actor play this character on the big screen and all that jazz. I think it was pretty effortless. It's really easy to fall into this new world with these new with this new supporting cast, and I just love everything about it. Like, we had a great Aunt May. You know,
Yeah, we did.
MJ's there, a version of MJ. People chastise this movie for the inclusion of Tony Stark and his role in Peter's life, but I think that they did an amazing job of rooting Spider-Man in the MCU by connecting him to Tony. I think it works really well in A.
I think A is fine for me. I think I can give it an A solely based on that that drive to the prom scene with Michael Keaton and Tom Holland,
Ooh.
where the
Yeah.
reveal happens.
Crazy.
It's such a good reveal, and I think the influence of like '80s coming of age high school movies is evident in this.
Yeah.
Which one of my favorite types of movies, like Ferris Bueller's Day Off, is like one of the movies that was on repeat in my house. My parents have a poster of that in the living room. Like those kinds of like the John Hughes era of movies is near and dear to me. So having that kind of be a blueprint for this was something I really enjoyed.
Yeah.
This as a reboot for Spider-Man, I was not a fan of the Andrew Garfield stuff, so I remember going into this just hoping for better, and I liked Tom Holland in Civil War, so I had my hopes up, and it delivered on those hopes. So for me, this was enjoyable, easy A.
I can't wait till we do a ranking of the non-MCU Marvel movies where we can do like
No.
Amazing Spider-Man, we can do Venom, Howard the Duck,
Had to slip that in there.
David
All the
Hasselhoff's Nick Fury. Like, we can throw all of them in there.
Excuse me?
Corman's Fantastic Four, good movie. You want to talk about another S tier for me? Thor Ragnarok? I love
S-tier.
Thor Ragnarok. It is, I think with Winter Soldier, it is my two favorite Marvel movies. It's so rewatchable, in my opinion. It's stupid. It's fun. It is Hemsworth finally coming into his own as Thor, of who his Thor is, really, which is just himbo. He's like, oh, Thor's a himbo.
Yeah.
I can do it. It's easy. And I'm like, yes, I'm fine with that. I don't care. You don't have to do Straczynski's, all father, kind of stoic Thor. You don't have to do Jason Aaron's Thor. Like, yeah, I'm down with himbo Thor. Let's do it.
I think this is an A. This is a high A because of how fun it is. To your point, how we could finally discover the Thor character, and it drives us along and introduces us to him in this new space, and it is fun. For that, but S is just too much.
I recognize it's a personal opinion. S tier.
Okay,
For me.
yeah.
I don't think I can argue S tier for somebody else. I'm a huge Taika Waititi fan too, so
Same.
I got a lot.
Extra
built
points
into
for
this.
that alone. Yeah, A, high A.
Also, I think I can sway to F. Death Mommy Hella. Come on, guys. Come on.
That is a very important consideration.
Yeah.
E.
Ooh, B.
I can see that.
Top
I
of
can
B.
definitely see that for you.
Top of B. I like Thor the way he was. I think Chris Hemsworth evolves as an actor, but I don't necessarily need this version of Thor. I like Thor how he was.
Yeah, I think my problems with this movie are sort of around that same area. I really like Taika Waititi, but I think this is probably one of those times where Marvel let a director put their sort of signature on the film, and I think it was a little bit too much for a Marvel film in this specific case. I think there are times when it goes a little too hard, a little too far, and it doesn't work as well as I want it to. It's still an A for me, But for that reason, I can't put it with Winter Soldier.
Mark, are you saying A too? Is that what I heard?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, we'll throw it in there. Black Panther.
Just real quick, Jack Arias says, not excited for Love and Thunder then. No, I am. It's an MCU movie.
It's Christian Bale.
And, I still like Thor. I just don't necessarily love this version. We're also getting Natalie Portman
Dude,
as Thor.
new
And I'm really
picture of
excited
her
for
came
that.
out.
Muscly.
Yo, she is ripped in this. She got like
Muscly.
she got
Yeah.
she got those SpongeBob anchor arms going on now. But let's talk about Black Panther.
I feel like there's no argument, right? S tier?
Yeah.
Oh.
Don't do
S
it.
tier.
Oh.
Well, why can't I just say A? Like I don't know if it's S. Like
There we
I
go.
I think I can argue Impact gives it S. I think as a movie it's A. Maybe I'm just being real selective about my S tier. I also put Thor Ragnarok in there. I could be swayed to S. Personally, I'd say A though. Uh-oh.
I think I'm A.
Oof.
Here come the whites. I'm sorry. I'm just
Hey,
And
only
see,
half.
that's why
I'm sorry.
that's why I held it back.
I couldn't hold that back. Go ahead.
I mean, I can say S because, like, just looking back on it, not even from, like, a movie standpoint, but, like, just the fucking buzz and the fanfare around this is energetic and, what's the word I'm looking for here? What happens when you're able to give COVID to people?
Super spread.
Contagious.
Contagious,
Yeah.
yes, contagious is the word I'm looking for. Yeah, this movie was like COVID for me. It's contagious with its energy.
Yeah. I mean, this movie had an impact globally on the actual world we live in. And I think that's critical. I think it has the best, most powerful message of all the movies that we've talked about so far. Chadwick Boseman is phenomenal as Black Panther. It's got a lot of great characters. One of the most quotable Marvel movies of all time. I feel like this is a really easy S. And Killmonger is one of the best villains. So
Yeah, I was just about to mention that.
one of the best heroes, one of the best villains, one of the best stories overall. And the best locale. I mean, my God, the visuals for this movie. Other than people have criticized the fight between Killmonger and Black Panther from a CG standpoint, but just like Wakanda itself, please come on.
Fully realized.
Yeah, this is an S.
I will say Killmonger was right. But why'd they fucking kill him off too? That's fucking stupid that they did that. But yeah, one of my favorite villains for sure. So I guess what's the consensus here? High A, S.
If it's my vote, keeping it out of S, I'm not upset about it. Make it an S. Because I think this is one I do think is worthy of it.
Kale
I
getting
think
reparations.
my
There we
personal-
go.
My personal preference is that it's an A, but I can see the argument for sure.
Fair.
S, good. Jack Arias says, is Killmonger a big deal in the comics then
No.
to Black Panther? To
Not
that,
even.
Universe. I mean, at a time.
I still think he wasn't even like a big character, honestly. He was just a mercenary dude who had weird body paint. He's gotten bigger since, obviously, because of corporate synergy. But yeah. Infinity War? Yeah, Infinity War is next up.
This
S.
is an S.
E.
B, you say?
I do not like this film very much.
Yeah, notoriously.
If we're, I want to say A for me. I don't think I can put it in S because I do feel like I like Endgame more. I don't like how segmented this movie is with the different teams everywhere. Infinity War has that too at a point, but I'd say it's an A for me.
I specifically like it because it has the teams all segmented and they're sort of doing their own thing. It always reminds me of season 1 of Heroes, where everybody's like disparate and they're doing their own thing, and then towards the end they finally culminate into this one big fight.
Yeah, you're right, Marco. It's a C. You're absolutely right.
Before or after the writer's strike?
Yeah, remember the last season of Heroes? Or was that the circus? Shit, man, that fucking
It was-
show.
yeah.
I think this is peak MCU. I think this and Endgame, one of them is my favorite movie. I swap between them every other day.
Favorite
So-
movie? Like
or
bar none?
MCU movie, MCU. Sorry.
Okay, all right.
Odd days it's Infinity War, even days it's Endgame, whatever. Like I think they're both phenomenal. Everything that works about the MCU is in this movie because it has every character from the MCU. And they ditched Joss Whedon for the Avengers films and added the Russos, who had done so well with Captain America. This movie feels weighty in ways that the other Avengers movies don't necessarily. I think they're both great, but this has like real stakes that aren't just, hey, the planet's going to explode, or hey, we're going to drop a piece of Earth on Earth and destroy it. Like, it's like, oh man, Thanos is a bad dude. And this is the culmination. We've been building up to this for, to this point, 10 years or whatever it is. So, yeah, to me, this is an easy S. There's no doubt about it. Top 5.
Kale, does this get a better score because you get to see Tom Holland die in it?
Man, that I forgot Tom Holland was in it. You're right. It's an F.
Oh no. I'll say A, but I mean, so Kale, what are you saying?
I'm a B.
B.
B to S and an A. That's a high A.
That sounds like a high A to me.
Travesty. That's fucking crazy, man.
That's a
oh
high
my
A.
God.
We'll reorganize that.
Oh my God.
So I always forget that there are 2 movies in the middle between the Infinity Saga Avengers movies. One of them being Ant-Man and the
Captain
Wasp.
C.
Ant-Man and the Wasp. A C? Oh, Ant-Man and the Wasp was so much fun.
That's a C.
Man.
It was okay. Run of the mill. Didn't do anything.
Run of the mill. Wow. I had
Ant-Man
a
and
lot
the
of
Wasp.
fun with Ant-Man and the Wasp.
I put it on the same as the first Ant-Man. I give it a B. In a good way.
I personally would maybe say A, but I can say B. I'll say B. Sean, you're awfully quiet with this one. You didn't like this one?
I like what it's trying to do more in concept and theory than in practice. It's very fun. I had a lot of fun with it. I think the acting's great. It's all good, but it just doesn't, I don't know. It didn't have the staying power for me. I've never gone back and watched it. I don't think about it. I don't care about it. They run it on TNT like every day, and I just don't get it. I would say it's a B.
Yeah, I think that we're kind of settled there on B that. All right, Captain Marvel, guys.
B.
C.
Yeah, I'm
B.
inclined for C on this. And it's not because of Brie Larson. I know everyone shits on Brie Larson for it. No, I actually think she's pretty good in it. I just think the movie itself is trying to be something that it's not. Like, I don't know what it's trying to do. It's this is gonna sound like some stupid shit, but it's like, oh, we're gonna be the Black Panther for women with this movie.
Well, wait till we get to Shang-Chi.
Well,
Yeah. You know what? I say C. I think the performances are all there across the board, but yeah, I think there are a lot of things, especially in the meat of the film, where it's in the 90s or whatever, where it leans so hard on the fact that it's in the 90s.
yeah, I think it's hampered trying to be like, oh, she's been in the MCU this whole time, but how do we explain that? We have to put it in the past, and I think it loses itself because of that.
It feels shoehorned.
Yeah.
And I didn't like that as the introduction to this character, because then it minimizes some of that weight. And we know that she kicks ass in Endgame, but still you get introduced as this badass character, but that's always been, I don't know.
Also didn't like the way that they tried to take away Captain America being the first Avenger by making her the one who came up with that or whatever.
Oh yeah.
That was
Yeah.
really bad.
Yeah, a shoehorn thing.
Yeah, Jess, it was just on TV here, and I was saying to Jess that the way all of that came together, the way it all puts a neat little bow on it, is just it's so convenient that it doesn't make sense.
You can hear the gears turning. It's one of those kind of movies.
The villain is boring.
Yep.
I don't like the way they do the scrolls in it. I think the scrolls are like an integral Marvel villain, you know, and they're just misunderstood people in this, which is fine.
Well,
like
that segment of the scrolls, right?
sure,
Like, there
sure,
are
but
others.
they have to describe that too. They're like, oh, we're just a small segment, you know. Then why do the scrolls at that point?
I agree.
You
I
have to
think they were
explain that.
wasted.
Yeah. Although, what's his place that plays Talos, the main scroll in this, the actor, I thought did a fun job with that role. I think it was
Yes.
goofy. I liked it.
Cool.
Ben Mendelsohn.
Yeah, Ben Mendelsohn's great.
Oh, yeah,
Rogue
yeah.
One, he's great in Rogue One.
Yes, great in everything he's in.
It's true. Endgame. So this I would put at S. I think I could put Endgame at S. I think
This is
that
S.
final fight scene alone is just like it's what I wanted in a comic book movie. It's what I wanted and I thought I could never get.
S. This is it. This is the apex. Like this movie's phenomenal. If you didn't lose your shit in the theater when
Kale's
Cap
out
says Avengers Assemble and everybody's back, that's I mean, my God, like that's playing with toys as a kid in the 90s and having all the characters together and thinking, gosh, wouldn't it be amazing if this could happen in a movie or something like that? And then it finally happening. My life's made.
And I do like how Harris also mentions it wrapped up Cap's story as well. I think it wrapped up a lot of people's stories, and I enjoyed that.
It
It felt like a definitive
up.
end to stuff.
Yeah, it wrapped literally everything up. All the characters, all the storylines. I think whatever threads we have left are seated in this movie. I think, not even like carryover from the rest of 10 years of culmination of films. So for that, the fact that it's able to do all of that, handle the weight of not just the last movie but the MCU overall, that adds on to its importance. Even if it wasn't an already S tier movie for just the concept.
Howard the Duck is in it too, you know.
S tier.
Although there is a big glaring plot hole in this movie for me. Valkyrie shows up at the end with a Pegasus, and they never explain that. Where'd she get the Pegasus? Asgard was destroyed. Where's that? Is there a Pegasus world that she went to? I don't know. I'm a big fan of the Disney Hercules movie, so any Pegasus-related stuff sticks with me.
I think
Kel.
they had a Herculean task with this film, and they nailed it.
Good.
Nailed.
Good. I lobbed it. You actually hit it out of the park there, Sean. Kale, you're quiet here.
I think I'm an A.
Oh, okay.
I don't. I don't like. I don't like that it's an S because there were things I didn't like, but they were things that sort of carried over from Infinity War. But the emotional notes it hits for me, it really hits and it really works on those levels. So for that, I think I gotta give it an A.
Catherine in the chat.
That'll put it into an S.
Also, Kale giving it at least an A is shocking, and I'll totally take that as a win. You know what? That's as close to an S as you're gonna get from Kale.
Wait till you guys hear my Doctor Strange review.
Oh,
Never
okay.
gonna believe it.
I don't even. I can't.
I think I know where this is going. I think it's either going in the direction I think or the exact opposite direction. Want to talk about Far From Home?
I also have to abstain from this. But I still haven't seen it, and I
Respectfully.
will not.
Kale, can I pitch it to you real quick?
Disrespectfully.
Can I pitch it to you? It's
No.
Spider-Man in Europe.
Oh, you're in Europe.
No, he's not anymore.
Oh, that's right. Not anymore. Yeah.
Yeah, why would you think I would give a shit about Europe?
That was me not pitching it to you. That's why I don't like this movie.
Jake Gyllenhaal.
It's a B for me. I think the actual character work is really good in it. I think Mysterio is actually very good, and Jake Gyllenhaal kills it in the role. I just don't really like the setting of it. I think that really takes out of it. I think, New York City is like a character, but for Spider-Man, New York City is a character. And I think it steals that from Spider-Man, which kind of bummed me out, to be honest.
He needs it to swing. Where is he gonna swing from?
Hey, that first movie, he somehow swings around the Washington Monument. Somehow, I don't know how that works, but
Fair enough. This is I want to say A. I flip flop between A and B. I'm gonna say A just to be. Actually, no, I'm gonna say B because we need to fill out the B's. This Bell distribution curve here is fucked up.
I think it's an A. I think it's quite a bit better than the movies that we have in B right now. And it's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun.
so it's 2 B's and an A and an A for Cal. So I'll put that in B.
EBA.
Black Widow.
F.
Whoa, really?
C.
C.
I'm probably more likely a C. If there had been more Florence Pugh, I would put it at an S tier.
Yeah. You know what?
Yeah.
I
Okay.
think I love Florence Pugh. I think she's fucking great, and I honestly think she is fantastic in this movie. This movie for me is more like I could care less about Scarlett Johansson in it, to be honest.
Yeah.
I think
Same.
again with the Captain Marvel issue, it's like you're putting it in between things that I think hampers it. It's like,
Well,
then why
and
didn't we
also-
know any of this? Why wasn't any of this mentioned?
And for me, like, I the whole movie is hampered for me by the fact that it's a decade too late.
Yeah. Yep.
My biggest issue with this movie is that it has a very, very good point to make. And I think that there's a strong story in it, but it just doesn't bring it out. I don't think that it really clearly delivers on what it's trying to say. And that's unfortunate. I think Black Widow could have had a trilogy of movies, maybe, if this movie had come out when it should have.
Yep.
But if it had been this movie, I don't think that it gets there.
No.
I mean, it's very prescient right now, but like the idea of women's autonomy is, I think, the essential part of this movie.
Yeah, absolutely.
And like they get there and they won't go fully there. You know what I mean? Like they want to Disneyfy something that heavy. Which
I don't know.
they
I
touch
think
it, really.
I think it delivers.
I think you're giving more credit to the actual script than it deserves. I don't think
Oh, no, I
it's a
don't-
Disney issue.
Fair. Then maybe it's a script issue. Sure. I think what I like about this movie is the character work in it. Minus Taskmaster, they fucking ruined one of my favorite Marvel villains.
Wow, that was
I
bad.
love Taskmaster, and that really ticked me off. Honestly, I think I yelled at the screen, and my wife was like, "Yo, what's wrong?" I'm like, "You wouldn't get it." It's one of those things.
So what were we saying? C.
Yeah, I think C. Shang-Chi.
B.
That's an A for me. I had a lot of fun with this. I thought Shang-Chi was a lot of fun.
I had fun, but it didn't knock it out of the park for me. It felt very similar to, I don't know where I put the first Guardians of the Galaxy. But
We put it A.
it felt like the second. It felt like they sort of have the formula down, and they want to do and they want to be able to take advantage of the fact that we are now in this post endgame world and can accept a lot more. And I think we were able to accept a lot of the origin and the different sort of styling for the film, and I appreciated that part. But for me, the story otherwise was it didn't engage me. I wasn't as engrossed as I would maybe be for something else or for another character. But I think they took a shot at something and that was successful. So at the very least, a B for me.
I think if you asked me this same question when the movie came out, I probably would have said C. But I watched it again on a plane of all places, and I really enjoyed it. Maybe it's because I needed to be saved from being on the plane for all those hours. But I would say it's a B.
For me, it's a C. I think this one feels slightly better than the first Doctor Strange for me. I think it has a lot to do, and it mostly successfully does it, but I feel like it muddles along the way.
It's fair. Tyler, what did you say?
I said A. I liked it a lot. I had a lot of fun with it. So I guess that evens out to a B then.
Yeah.
Harris said close S. That's I don't know.
Shang-Chi?
Wow, we gotta know
Wow.
Eastmaster over here. Let's talk about Eternals.
Ooh, F for zero fucks had.
Man, this movie
Yeah,
is
I don't
all
think that's it.
potential. All
Yep.
That's
potential.
all it is. Yeah.
Yep.
I noted how different it looked in the poster too for it. It's not an MCU poster. You could even
No.
see it, the difference of it here. But yeah, it's just potential. It squanders it, I think.
For what it's worth, I know it doesn't matter, but I would not put it in F. I would put it in C. And the only reason I feel that way is because there are so many great characters in it, I think. And I like what they tried to do with them. I don't hate this movie. I'm just disappointed by it. Whereas the other two in F so far, I hate these movies. So for me, I would say C.
You've convinced me, Sean.
I think I can do that.
Yeah.
Wow.
I think I will say I think this movie is shot very well.
Sure.
I think the talent on this movie was too good for a Marvel movie, especially Eternals. Does that make sense?
Yep.
It feels like somebody trying to
Yep.
do actual cinema being hampered by the machine that is the Marvel movies. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like there's themes here that, in any other movie, like, oh, this being, accidentally helped humans create the nuke, and how does this view his perspective on humans? Sure, you can maybe do something there in an actual movie, but Marvel just makes it stupid.
I also wonder if, it could have been a little looser if it
Definitely
were,
needs that. Yeah.
released around, it would have been an entirely different movie. But if it were released, around the same time as, Iron Man 1, like we said, that one was flirting with different stuff because it was a different time. And, like as Sean pointed out, it had a semi-sex scene, right? But in 2021 or whatever, whenever the fuck this movie came out, it has a sex scene and it's nothing. So I just wonder what else it could have been at another time,
I think that's a great point. I think the boldness of the MCU and the freshness of it, frankly, from 2008 to 10 would have served this movie better.
Yeah.
I will say the
Interesting.
post credits did get me excited for where these guys can go, though.
Yeah. I think there's a lot of upside with these characters.
Yeah.
So
No Way Home. Spider-Man No Way Home. The only Kel, the only one you've seen?
Yep.
Yep.
The only Spider-Man. Spider-Man.
this will not end up there, but I'm going to throw S out.
It's an A. This was fun. This was glad to see all the people back. The story was good. I had fun throughout the film, but it didn't hit S tier status for me. It's a strong A.
I'm with Marco. I think it's a strong A for me too. I might be tempted for S. I did see it twice back to back. I saw it in 4DX the first time, which so I was motion sickness immediately.
Yeah.
The seat was, and the movie starts off with a swing sequence, so my seat started moving like crazy. I'm like, oh fuck, this is a bad idea.
I saw Birds of Prey in one of those, and it was terrible.
Oh, that's why I had to see it again right after. I was like, I need to redo that. That was not good. Yeah, I think I had fun with it. I would say a high A for me.
That's fair.
I think A. Yeah.
No, all right. Even with Tom Holland, it could have been an S without Tom Holland. You're saying?
All right. You know what? It's an F. You're right.
Ah,
100%.
Again.
F all the way to the bank. Take that F to the bank and
All
F
right, we'll
with it.
throw it here. Okay, this is the interesting thing. We haven't talked about this, and we really still can't.
The only thing I'll say, and this will be monumental, and if you want to hear it, Switch over to the Doctor Strange review right now. S.
Same. I'm with you, Cal. I am a Sam Raimi fan. This is a Sam Raimi movie, which I will get into.
I'm not going to say anything other than similar to what I said about Thor Ragnarok. I can't believe they let Sam Raimi all over this movie.
Yep, exactly. I want to talk about that in depth on the actual review, but I had a lot of fun with this.
B.
Okay.
You said B?
B.
Ooh. I'm getting sweaty. I think.
2 S's, an A, and a B.
Oh, Tyler, you said S2?
Yeah, man.
Oh,
S
shit.
for Sam fucking Raimi.
Damn. You know what? I may have to come
Maybe,
down to B
maybe.
to bring that average down. Hold on a second.
It could be a recency bias, but
Hold on.
Marco.
I'm trying to get my pick of the letter in here, right? And mine's an A. I come down to B with Sean. That's it. That's an A. I secure my W.
That's
I think
true.
that's fair.
Wow.
I think that's fair to throw it as an A. All right. So,
I say B for the sake of math.
So how do we organize this? This is our list so far. We got. Want me to run it down, Sean, or should we talk about each row first?
So I think we should just talk about each row. Yeah.
Okay. So for S, we have currently Winter Soldier, Black Panther, and Endgame. I still maintain Winter Soldier is the best one. Like I think that's top of S for me. Then I would maybe put Endgame, Black Panther if we're going to organize it that way.
I agree. Well, I think I enjoy Endgame better. I think Endgame is the top of S, and then I would go Winter Soldier and then Black Panther. That would be my ranking for that. But I think that there's a movie missing. I think Infinity War is supposed to be here. I really do.
Anyone else agree with that? Looking at this as a whole.
You're not going to convince me.
Sure. Yeah,
I'm sorry.
Sean, you can convince me because I put it up there, but I don't know. These two are the knuckleheads.
Well, my thing is this. Infinity War is the first half of the total story that's being told between Infinity War and Endgame.
Yep.
And it's the only one that really features a lot of the characters that we talked about loving, like Black Panther, all these different characters, Vision, they're all not in Endgame. So Endgame is a celebration of the old, but I think Infinity War does a great job with the newer characters. And it gives us interactions we literally never would see otherwise, like Rocket and Thor. That was pretty amazing. I think the fight scenes were phenomenal. Thanos is a badass villain, and he's not really a factor in Endgame in the same way. And again, it's a movie that has real weight and stakes. That moment when Thanos comes to Earth and he has all the other gems in the gauntlet but one, and you know what is at stake. I don't know if any other moment really tops that in terms of like villainy. I think it's phenomenal.
Say you've convinced me, but I would also say like I still think if we're putting in the S tier, I think Winter Soldier is a better movie, more rewatchable for me. Like stands by itself. I don't have to invest 4 hours to get the whole story.
Go ahead.
I think for me, it's going to be Endgame, Infinity War, Winter Soldier, and Black Panther.
But you say S.
Within S, yeah.
So I think fine. This settles it then because Kale will not even want it in S. So I think that means Winter Soldier kind of outranks it.
That's fine.
I think so. Yeah, we have S tier official: Endgame, Winter Soldier, Infinity War, Black Panther.
Can live with that.
All right, A, we got Iron Man 1, Captain America the First Avenger, Avengers 1, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 1, Captain America Civil War, Spider-Man Homecoming, Thor Ragnarok, Spider-Man No Way Home, and Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness.
This is tough. I think Civil War is the best of these.
Yeah, I think so.
Let me see. I have two that I would put above
besides
that.
Doctor Strange, obviously.
Yeah, I'd put Doctor Strange and Ragnarok above that because they are the only auteur feeling movies in the MCU.
No,
Ooh.
I think Civil War
Ooh,
is
hold
a bit
on.
better.
I don't. I think I would say the Russos are also all over Civil War
You got
Yeah.
a point. You got
Yeah.
a point. I think more
In the
over
same way.
Winter Soldier, but
But still,
I think
also
they're doubling down on what they were doing in Winter Soldier, and I think they're working within the machine of the Marvel films, and they do it really well. So yeah, I think Civil War works just as well with as an auteur driven film.
To be honest, I would go a cut above that and say that every single movie in a um is like that.
yeah, James Gunn with
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tone, yes, but I think Ragnarok and Multiverse of Madness are much more directorially not different. I feel than the other ones. Definitely Multiverse of Madness, but
But I think in terms of having
big list, though.
like having the directors like leave their mark and that being palpable, I think to Sean's point, these all have that sense. You can feel that from pretty much all of these.
I don't feel it in Iron Man because I don't have that. What that was what's his face?
Jon Favreau.
Jon Favreau.
Yeah, I don't have a scale for that, to be honest. My scale from it comes from Iron Man, you know.
But it and Captain America are the first ones, you know. So even if they're at the bottom of the A list, I don't think that's a bad thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, so for me, I think it would go something like Civil War. I think No Way Home should be an S, but I think Civil War should be an S too. So I would say Civil War, then I would say No Way Home, then Iron Man, then Spider-Man, then Thor. Then I wouldn't have Cap here.
Thor
on
I'd put
Multiverse of
higher.
Madness, but
Thor I would put higher as well. I'd put that back to back with No Way Home and Civil War, honestly.
Yeah, I think so actually.
And I would honestly put Strange there too.
I'd drop Iron Man way down.
You know, I think Iron Man's safe where it is. But I think in terms of an actual movie, I think there's some better ones out there. It's funny, we haven't even talked about Avengers. Like, is that at the end of the A list at this point?
I mean, for me, I would think that it's better than, is that Guardians there?
It's Guardians, and we have Homecoming here as well.
I think it's better than Guardians. And I think it's better than the first Avenger.
I'd argue that, but
Avengers?
Yes.
Oh, I think Guardians does the Avengers better than the Avengers did.
With that villain?
I mean, yeah, you got a point. We're gonna spend too much time on this. I think we just leave it as is here.
I think the ranking within the ranking is a little silly.
Well, A is the one that's the hardest, just because some of these could even be an S, and like these are the ones we really care about. So I think it's easier going forward. Yeah, I'm fine with this. I guess I just there's some movies that I don't think belong there, but it's okay.
So B tier, we got Ant-Man, Incredible Hulk, Thor, Ant-Man and the Wasp, Spider-Man, Far From Home, and Shang-Chi.
I think Far From Home is the best of B.
Yep. And then Shang-Chi.
Of B.
Yeah. Yep. And then I would say Thor, Hulk, and the Ant-Man's.
I would put the
Personally,
Ant-Man's higher.
Okay, yeah, that's
Personally,
fair.
yeah.
Then Hulk, sure, and Thor.
So we're thinking a little bit of this. Yeah, I think that's fair.
Cool. That looks reasonable. Yeah.
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 All right. So C tier, we got Iron Man 2, Avengers: Age of Ultron, Doctor Strange, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2, Captain Marvel, Black Widow, and Eternals.
I think Age of Ultron is the top of C.
Sure.
Doctor Strange.
I would say like the top tier of C would be Age of Ultron.
Who was the villain in
Strange.
Doctor Strange again?
Yo, bro, I don't know. Dormammu and some other dude.
I told you already.
Iron Man.
But that's how forgettable he is. You tell me, I don't even remember.
He's got the cataracts.
I'll
The
give
pink eye or
Sean
something.
Age of Ultron and C. It feels like we're just polishing trash now.
I would
a turd.
I would put maybe
Eight.
Doctor Strange, Age of Ultron, and
See, I'd
Black-
put Captain Marvel above Doctor Strange.
Really?
Yeah.
Black Widow before Captain Marvel. Honestly, like it should have been in the first place.
No, no.
What's
I'm
Eternals
fine with
doing
the
all
way
the way
it is,
down
though.
there?
Like at this point, I don't even can rank them at this point. They're
Don't
just
even
like all
start,
middling
Marco.
at that point.
Hold
Or
on
so
a
what-
second.
We're
What
not
is
going
our
to waste
defini-
our time arguing about Eternals and where it goes in C.
In C.
That's what I'm saying. We're just polishing the garbage.
So, what is our definitive shittiest Marvel movie? Is it Thor: The Dark World or Iron
think
Man
it's-
3?
I think it's Thor.
It's
Thor
Thor:
the
The
Dark
Dark
World.
World. Yeah.
Womp womp.
Unfortunately.
Remember Curse was in that movie? Remember that, guys?
Who?
Who?
Curse.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
No.
Marco, who was the villain of Doctor Strange?
Bro,
Who was the villain of Thor 2?
The script. That's who it was.
Oh,
Man, that sucks too. I was so excited for Thor 2.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I was like, oh, we're gonna get more high fantasy Marvel stuff, and we definitely did.
Caecilius.
There we go. And good job googling.
Caecilius.
Caecilius.
So this is our ranking. We have 4 movies in S, and interestingly, our most filled out tier is A, which is not what I expected.
Yeah.
But I think it makes sense. I think what this shows is that, by and large, the Marvel movies are not bad. And let us know in the chat before we close out, how do you guys feel about our ranking? Do you think it's accurate? What would you change? And if you want to share your ranking with us, there are plenty of ways that you guys can do that. If you want to do it and then send it to us on social, that's at the Comics Pals, of course. You can email it to us at thecomicspals@gmail.com. Leave it in a comment wherever you comment, youtube.com/thecomicspals. Drop a comment on this video, or a future one if you, for some reason, decide to do it later.
Discord.
Yeah, drop it in Discord. That's a perfect place, because then we can actually argue with you, and it won't just be me replying. It'll be the entire Comics Pals Discord.
And
No
we
pressure.
love telling you you're wrong.
Well, there are people in our Discord who will love to tell you you're wrong. So that's the fun part.
That is true. There are people in our Discord who
link in
love
Discord?
to tell
Yeah,
us
yeah,
that
I'll-
we're wrong.
Catherine, I'll throw it in the Discord as well.
Yes.
I'm doing a quick poll just to see of the chat, what is the best of A tier for y'all?
Oh,
Real quick. But yeah, that's fun. That's fun. I think I would with the MCU movies. I think you can safely say most of it is good. I don't think there's a lot of great knock my socks off movies, but most of it's good. Like it's dependable. It's like a good
And I
Coke,
think that I think that that's fair. Like, to expect every movie to be like, like you said, knock your socks off. That's a little unreasonable. And I think people judge the MCU by that scale too often. They're movies. They're a movie studio just like any other. And there are no movie studios that bat 100. It just doesn't exist. But I think if you're averaging it out against other movie studios, that's pretty impressive.
I'd argue A24, is probably always batting 100 in my book, but.
Kefis says best
Film
A
Bros
tier
and-
is Civil War.
Well, did you put it in the poll?
There's an actual poll, guys. Look up above the chat. You can.
Well, the
answer.
poll that I see includes movies that aren't in A tier.
Marco
S tier.
put best of S tier in the A tier.
Good
You went too
grief.
quick, Marco. You went too
I
quick.
typed it out too fast.
All right, I'm gonna vote for this one.
I voted
casting
for
my vote
Infinity
here.
War. Oh, you evened it out, Tyler. Only Infinity War and Winter Soldier have gotten votes. That's funny.
Damn, Black Panther. Give a shit about reparations in this chat, apparently. Straight to jail with all of you.
Unbelievable. If you guys enjoyed the experience of us doing this ranking. We have other rankings you guys can go check out. Make sure you subscribe to us on YouTube so that you can find them. Leave a like on the video, share it with your friends. All that's free to do, and it helps us out a lot more than it costs you. If you want to participate in one of these rankings live, you can do so by catching us on Twitch every Saturday. Not that we do them every Saturday, but the best way to find out if we're doing one is to catch us on Saturdays at 10 a.m. Eastern. Every single Saturday, we come here and we do the show, and it's a lot of fun, and we hang out with our chat, and you can be a part of that, and we would love to have you. Thursdays at 6 p.m. Eastern for Pals Pulls. That's our show where we review comics every single week. We review 4 of the best books, or the books that we're most interested in, and yeah, we have a great time. You never know if Tyler or I, or frankly any one of us, will be drinking. And if that's the case, you're gonna get some hot takes.
You probably get a lot more from me soon, but yeah.
I love this show. We'll be back to our normal style episode next week for sure. Let's get into the plugs. Kale.
Thank you so much for tuning in to this episode of the Comics Pals. You can find me and my work at kaleward.com. That's CALEWARD.com. You can follow me on Twitter and Instagram at TOTOINTOW at Toto and Toe. I did it backwards again.
Marco did a better
What's
job
up with that?
at
Yeah.
it
I don't know.
last week.
That's like the 6th time I've done it.
Marco.
You can find me at Mr. Marco Enomoto on Instagram and Twitter. I'm like 3 episodes away from finishing Attack on Titan. Very excited. I'm trying to finish that tonight. And I'm going to be reading nothing but slice of life and romance manga for the next 2 weeks. That might be something featured in my newsletter. We'll see.
Me next.
Tyler.
You can follow me at the Tyler Olson on Instagram and Twitter. Not much going on. I got a newsletter to write. That's what I'm focusing on right now.
Fair
Thankfully, I
enough.
made a cocktail that I liked in the first shot. I didn't have to make multiple ones and then became an alcoholic. So we're safe there. But yeah, you can look forward to that newsletter. I got something cool I want to show off too. So
The newsletter that you can find on patreon.com/the Comics Pals. We have many tiers available for you guys. Check it out. Check out the website. At least give it a look. If you don't decide you want to join, that's totally okay. We appreciate you looking anyways. And if you want to get your name shouted out on the show and get a superhero name and origin or supervillain, join the $10 or more tier, and we will make that happen for you.
And don't forget,
yeah.
we will not water down this content if you join Patreon or don't join Patreon.
Right.
This show is this show.
100% accurate. Thank you for saying that. As for me, I'm on Twitter and Instagram only at Sean Soapbox. I am watching Dragon Ball Z from the start.
Still?
last
I'm gonna
I
be-
heard you were at Reddit's, right?
Yes, I am
Where you at
now.
now?
They just they've taken off to go to Namek, and I'm sure that'll be a very long trip, even though it really shouldn't be. But that's Dragon Ball for you.
Sean, how are you watching that? Do you have DVDs?
His eyeballs.
Okay.
Let's not even talk about that.
Just curious.
Yeah. So yeah, that's really what I'm thinking about. And I had a lot of fun doing the ranking. So let us know what you thought about it. Thank you so much for listening. We've got a Doctor Strange 2 Multiverse of Madness review to do. So we will see you guys later. Until next time, take care.
See you next week.